several phone calls with a person who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I don't actually know his real name.
And unfortunately, every time I make a call, it becomes content.
Help! I've been tossed overboard.
I'll have to bill you extra for my time.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is coming.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Thought your lies were solid. To the cracks, let daylight in. Thought you were ballin'. Till the pay piggy stopped hitting sin. You thought everyone was sleeping while you creeping that stash. Figured you was solid in those wallets skimming that cash. 56,000 dropped by one donor. And when asked, you said me, I'm the owner. That's fraud. You ain't fit for Danny's ma'am drive-through. Whole timelines clocking your crew. Receipts on deck, let's count the ways. A bench, a barn, a fence, a verbal maze. You pretend to help like you're right, but all you do is out of spite. Now the world sees you and you're stressing. All those blue lights got you guessing. No, not all monsters are fairy tales. Some set online broadcasting fails, and that's you. One day soon, no more pretend. And when it does, the thieving ends, hopefully behind bars. You broadcast good deeds for the clout and the likes, but that umbrella guy pulled up with the mic and the spikes. Means hitting harder than your fake ass fence. Every donor screenshot got you playing defense. You said better life for the kid, straight face, no shame. Now the kid's still waiting and you still in the game. Timeline flip, pitchforks in the chat. You stressing in the DMs, deleting this and that. In these drive-through, too rich for your kind. Now you're running from the comments, losing your mind. You thought the internet would forget? Now we got receipts. Every dollar you flipped, every lie you delete. Barn never built, bench never laid, fence still missing, kids still in the shade. That umbrella guy live calling you out by name, mean even got an in behind bars or broke. Either way you decide, now the whole world knows. Daylight in, hey Biggie, stop sending that umbrella guy.
What's up, folks? Man, I just found that YouTube didn't save any of my channel tags today. It has been such a mess since the demonetization thing. I mean, I'm glad to be back and everything, but what a freaking mess every single freaking day. If you all get a lot of ad frequency or anything weird, let me know. I have set the thing, but I may have to reset it yet again. They keep resetting my I turn my ads on manual, so it says essentially I put them in, and then I don't put any ads in while we're doing this. But we'll see what it does. So if you start getting a bunch of, let me know, okay? Because I am very curious about all of that, you know. Well, I have something very good for you today, by the way. Something very beautiful that you're going to very much enjoy. Would you like to hear a wonderful transcript? It's taken me a while to go through. There are multiple calls that were out there that they had transcripts made of them, essentially, you know, taking notes, extensive notes. So when I say transcripts, I'm not talking about like a online transcript. I'm talking about somebody making extensive notes to the point that they create a very, very good log of things that happen. Would you like to hear a log about not only the discussion about money in Ohio, but about LP dogging on Lisa, talking about how fat she is. I mean, it's actually, it's funny. I started going through and I talked to Tina. I was like, hey, wait a minute. These notes, the way that's set up, is she talking about how fat she is? Yeah. Yeah. When she has to hug her around the belly. And I mean, it's all in. Like these are amazing. I thought, my Lord, but it takes forever to go through and to translate them. You know, also, there was a note in there, like for example, there are certain things, the way that, you know, that they're brought up that Tina didn't know what they were, and I had to go and find out what it was. Like, for example, she had told Tina, well, she was yelling at HG, according to this. It was talking about her knocking over her quote-unquote burpee, I thought it said. And that's what Tina thought it was. Well, it was Berkey, a Berkey. So I don't know if LP said it a certain way. I'm not sure, but it's all amazing. I mean, this is the person that they are all supposed to be pals now, right? On top of that, too, you know, I want to mention something before we get started with this, because I think you'll find this really interesting. It's taken a lot of work to get this stupid thing. There are well, at least 13 more of these. There may be more, but the time that it takes to go through and to put them together, this, according to Tina's notes, this was a 16-minute call. It had the date. I don't remember the exact date. It's when the Ohio stuff started kicking up. But it's amazing. It talks in there about Bruce. It talked like again, I was looking at shorthand, you know, because she made. Have you ever met anybody that can do very good short? I mean, very good short. I do a little bit of shorthand, right? But have you ever met somebody that knows what they're doing? Like really knows, or maybe one of you knows what you're doing, right? If you run into one of them, they can record entire conversations just by writing it out. The thing was, I had to have help deciphering a lot of it because I don't go in there and do it. And it's funny because afterwards I ran it through AI itself to help. And at first, I almost went with the thing of speaker 1, speaker 0, you know how like AI transcripts do, but I changed it the last minute. I was like, no, there's only 2 people here. So I myself, if there were a bunch of people talking, I would tell you who the speakers were and just call it speaker 1, speaker 0 or whatever. But for this thing, I name it LP and I name it Tina. So it's easy to go through. We'll hit that in just a few minutes. We also, there's so much. Oh, Lord, there's always something weird and cool, that's going on. There also, along with this, I saw a post. I want to give a little bit of love to. I want to say, wow. I was like shouting out all the people that, really do good work and put up everything too. So I watched So You Don't Have To had been talking about how 2L is saying now that she didn't get any money. There was nothing said about her birthday back when, right? So now not only is the donor, that Kyle guy, being called an out and out liar, there's a lie about what was going on for those days. If you haven't kept up with this, I'm going to give you the short and dirty. There was a guy who gave money because the neighbor that 2L has, she had I guess a birthday was going on, but she was also having some stuff going on, and they were like, hey, let's get some money for her, let's do something nice. Well, apparently that money didn't make its way to the person, and apparently anybody that brings it up is an out and out liar. And the way that this is brought up in transcripts, mind you, there's just the denial that anything went on, getting money, any birthday was mentioned. Well, as I watched So You Don't Have To posted a couple of hours ago, it's like, yeah, you said you didn't get money. There was nothing said about a birthday. Well, Felicia, would you like some mustard for your fried bologna and sandwich of lies? Time to eat them words. That's right, old Felicia Flea. And also Kyle. Just a word of advice. They're using you for your kindness, plain and simple. I mean, they're calling you a liar, buddy. Again, it gets to that point, and this is what's happened to a few of these folks. They get to the point where something is disagreed on, and you have to be wrong. It's not a disagreement point. Like you said, we can argue over Hales, and we can argue over not liking the guy, these people, whatever, I mean, in fact, that is a YouTube thing. It is not my case. I don't give a shit, like at that point, we can argue all day long, and we can walk our separate ways. Now, when people try to burn down sponsors and stuff, when they've gone after Olight and more, that's a bigger problem. But no, like, I don't care. I don't, I can disagree with you, but at the end of the day, you not liking somebody is not an impact on my life. This, however, is just crazy to see. It's the same thing. I remember how much hate I got from David, only me, for talking about what had happened to him, because he didn't want to like any. And then ultimately he became such a fixture for their hate that he begged for coverage, but then he didn't like what was said. And he started making threats. But regardless, in talking about him, I don't like that guy myself, but I believe that he was scammed. I very much do. And I believe that these people are being used for their kindness too. You can see like the discussions of this coming up. You can see, the talk about, hey, with money, all of that. Plus, when they're talking about there not being any birthday stuff, again, it was pretty easy to see that there was stuff being brought up with the old squat pump. That is their name, by the way. I still don't know why. You can tell that I've really invested in not knowing because I didn't care. But you can see money was indeed brought up for that person. And it was noted for them too. There were quite a few items with that. So for them, and again, it's in transcript, I'm sure they'll damage control sooner or later. They'll say they didn't call anyone a liar. They'll say whatever. But, you know, if you stand your ground, they will turn on you. But ultimately, they did that. And it's so gross, man. Happens all the time. Now, would you guys like to see a wonderful written report of a wonderful phone call? Again, I did my best with it. There are a couple of places. I also, I made a mistake with one thing too. I had AI look at it, and I was like, "Hey, is there any issues in this?" And it scrambled a couple of sentences because it's dumb. I'll never make that mistake, but I think I fixed all of that. You know. So, are you guys ready for this? You want to see this lovely, lovely thing. Now, what I did here is, again, I took it. Let me blow this up, and I'll bring it up here. I took it and made this, like I said, I took her notes. And instead of just giving you raw notes, because that is such a freaking mess, you know, I put it in. And by the way, I thought I would add this, since you know O2L and the gang will be listening. You also said the other day that Tina was too stupid to be able to find your companies. Well, guess what? You said she was a dumbass. Well, guess what? She didn't find one. You're right. She found a few. Fun times, right? Fun times indeed. Oh man. I'm drinking me some coffee. All right. So the way that I put this together, again, I think I took out all the speaker notes. I think it'll go good. I don't think I have any issues in this, the way I put it together. But yeah, you're going to find it fun. And remember, there's a reason that this is set up this way. Why? Well, because, of course, obviously, Tina did not record her calls. Why not? Well, because she just didn't. She took extensive notes instead. Oh, this is so good, though. This is so good. So check this out. You have LPs start out with saying, it's exciting. I mean, again, these are her profanity. You even had Tina. It was really funny. Tina wrote into the margin of, and this woman doesn't curse. And you'll notice, like in phone calls, like where she had a phone call with me, she profaned a lot. And, you know, I don't care. I profane a lot. I don't care, you know, but the idea is in phone calls, you'll hear like the little kid, and in this transcript, she notes like the kid's right around quite a bit of the time. And yet there is a lot of profaning with the kid right there. And she says she doesn't profane ever, you know, so that's yeah, well, you'll see. So she says, call the fucking office line, hit the payment button, and make a payment of $6,000. So she's talking about the fats. Just do it and just call it there. She told John, no, I won't do it unless I speak to him directly. So her thing with the lawyer in Ohio and picking them up is she made it just like with the stuff in the bankruptcy. Apparently she has to have connection with them too. Isn't that interesting? So she keeps the person's money. And when she's talking about the use of money, or she's talking about the conversation or communication with them, she makes sure that she's placed in it. Why? Because, well, she probably thought that she could control things. And again, you saw how the Ohio hearing was discussed, you know, about the end portion of it, where they threw certain people under the bus. Yeah, that I imagine they were trying to make sure that didn't happen. Well, I guess they didn't do a good job of it, by the way, it sounds like. But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know about it? I mean, these are the big brains, right? The big somethings anyway. So she's like, and he's like, it's fucking Thursday. Well, it's Wednesday night. You know, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm already in with my family, and I freaking feel like I don't is what that should be. I don't freaking feel like I should have to do this. Lawyers don't do that. They're not. This is my typo, by the way, right here. So, and I don't feel, I don't freaking feel it should have to be, but they're not like BBB. They're not like Bruce. So apparently that's an interesting statement too. Now, Bruce is going to come up in this as well. She talks about how, now she's had this conversation with me too. So, she's talked about how Bruce doesn't like these people. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize like all these goodies were in here in this little transcript that she made. So Tina was like, no, he's not going to talk to her anyway. I see she's trying to turn somebody else against you. So this, again, you got to remember the time period, and she's going to talk about getting even in just a second too. She's going to talk about getting even with her, which, oh yeah, she was very keen on getting even. So LP was like, I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but he's not going to do it. But I just begged him. I said, please. This is her thing too. Like she said this same thing. This is crazy because she says this same. I mean, these are the same words that she uses with anybody on the. Please, I said, please. I'm on bended knee. We saw her post about that. I heard her say this myself. So this seems to be one of her go-to things. I said, please. She's saying she's going to pay you, but she wants to make sure you're real. So, again, according to LP, you have the demand that Lisa has to be involved. Again, and it's LP's money. I mean, ultimately, like this kind of stuff would piss me off. I'd be like, hell to the no, This is not your money. Give me my money or else. Now, they'll talk about later on why she thinks it's triggered on here too. Man, I hope it didn't mess that little part of my transcript up. But LP said, I said, she's just one of those people. Stupid. So she said that she told the lawyer that she has to talk to him because she's just one of those people, one of those stupid people. Oh, the backbiting is unreal. I do love it. I absolutely do love it. And Tina's like, I hope you're right. I hope you're right that she's just trying to find out if this stuff is real instead of her trying to absolutely bury you. Because, she has. She's tried to bury you. And it would actually be an incentive for her to bury her because, well, if she did, she'd be able to, she's got, well, depending on what you think of money, I believe from her own comments that she has over 100,000 reasons to bury LP, But depending on what you think, you at least know that she has 56,000 reasons to bury LP. So LP then goes into I put this is when this is all over. When this is all over, I'm going to burn her. Now, as Tina, like with the repeat, she said that the reason that there'll be repeats because that's how LP talks a lot, but also because kid noise in the background also comes up. So it could be multiple reasons that you'll have repetition like that, but she tried to capture the repetition on it too. But she's like, when this is all over, I'm going to burn her. Talking about 2L. She's talking about when Ohio is over, when Lisa is no longer useful, she is going to burn her. She said, God wants me to, and then there was a note here. I just wrote cut off because there was a note with Tina's stuff that essentially was saying that I guess that she couldn't either understand or she cut off her statement. I'm not sure what her note meant on that, but I translated it as it cut off for whatever reason. You know, she was saying something, and then she goes with a hold on. So, like I said, I'm not sure what came up with that. If it's background noise, kidding. I mean, it could be anything, you know. But then she says, God probably wants me to forgive her, but I can't. I mean, I can, but that doesn't mean I can't make her pay for what she's done. So, like that. If you notice too, I'll break up sentences. That's because of the way the lines were set up. So I just broke it into sentences when I'm editing and named it, and it didn't just group them all together, you know. So if you're wondering like why it's broken up like that, God, this took me forever to do. And Tina, thank you, by the way, for your help. It was a lot of work to go through. You know, Tina also, the reason that she took notes with this is because LP lies. She lies a lot. She, you know, I mean, they all lied. Remember, they lied and said that Tina actually had allowed a conversation to be recorded that she and LP were having, that I never was supposed to be on the line. And now LP's actually admitted that wasn't true. But I mean, you get the reasoning for it. When this person she had already started making threats. Oh, by the way, I'd like to understand one other thing too. So apparently LP has a thing against gypsies, you know, Romanians, Romneys. And you actually have Tina bring this up, and I asked her, and she was like, yeah, this is one of those things that LP, it's like a sticking point for her. So when you bring it up to her, that's why it comes up. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But she said, Tina's like, well, I don't know what kind of attorney is going to sit and talk to her about your case. It's none of her damn business. And that's absolutely correct, by the way. It isn't any of her damn business. For her to be interfering in any of these cases, what Lynette is too stupid, I think, to realize is the fact that these people are not working. Well, she should realize this. They are not necessarily working at her own best interest. The lawyer is there for her best interest, but these people are not going to work at her own best interest. So why would you include them into conversations that you're having? You know? I mean, you absolutely shouldn't include them in the conversations that you're having. But again, you know, what do I know, right? What do I know? So anyway, goes forward with that. LP is like, oh, no, she just wants to know if he's real. And Tina's like, no, you know, I think she's got ulterior motives. I would say with as many things that have come up, again, this is in the middle of their arguing. LP, this shows you how useless LP can be, by the way, you know, because even in the middle of her trying to put her in jail, she still is telling people, oh, no, she's just trying to make sure that person's real. You know, wishful thinking, say what? Well, LP is like, well, he won't talk to her. He's not going to tell her shit. You know, so as far as the case is concerned, I find that to be interesting too, because on both sides, because I think that 2L thought she was going to have control with this person. You know, she's going to have quite a bit of control, but well, you see how that goes. Isn't it interesting? So she's going to have to get over that. But hopefully he'll answer the phone if she calls. You know, so they're talking about, again, what is the point in this? Remember that for the longest time, she said that the idea that she had paid for lawyers was ridiculous. That's garbage. That was a lie. And why does that matter, by the way? Because I mean, it's LP's money, right? Why would that matter? Well, her whole narrative about why she wouldn't turn over money was because the money actually isn't LP's money. It's only there to use for specific projects, and that's it. Otherwise, she can't turn over anything. So why then did she turn over money for the lawyer? And again, I think she knew how bad that looked. So she decided that she was going to go into the deny thing, and pretend that that never happened. But the only problem was that LP was running her mouth and telling other people that, oh, yeah, she did. This is how, again, this is what made it so funny when, when I was talking about how she had paid for the lawyer, I wasn't speculating. I was not speculating at all. This is after LP had already been getting nasty with Tina. This was after LP was telling her, reach out, do this, do that. So we'd already had conversations because of LP, but LP was being pretty nasty about stuff. She was definitely, she's doing what it sounds like she does to a lot of people. And of course she denies that she does to people, but she likes to attack people that try to help her. Like the Shara thing. Now, of course, now she's attacking Shara even now. If you go and look at the stuff that she's saying in chats, even now, I mean, what's crazy is she admitted that Shara tried to help her get, what was it, Lowe's involved to help her with her living situation. And yet she also, with the same breaths, will attack her. I think that's terrible, I think that is absolutely terrible there. But it's like, she's going to have to get over that, but hopefully he'll answer her if she calls. Tina's like, wow, So then they're talking about dates. And she says, we only have, what? How many days until the 5th? Tina, or rather, LP's like, I'm not, what, Monday's the 1st? So, or maybe that was Tina. Actually, I think this was Tina. I think I mislabeled that. I think it changed something. I've gone through and looked at this so much that I think that was actually a Tina statement, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check that again because I want it to be right, but I believe that's what that was. So LP is like, I like how Tina, by the way, and it was really funny in her notes about this. Like when she put it together, she actually put in marks for the for her counting. Like, oh my God, because LP was like, well, let's see, how many days how many days? Let me count the ways. I don't know. It just kind of cracked me up the way the notes were put together with this stuff. She said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. She's just counting there. Again, Tina's notes were pretty funny on it. That's why I put in the count. I put in the counting note, by the way, there, just to say it like that, because it noted it and it made me fun. It made me laugh because it's funny. Then LP says, "Oh, I won't," and he has to wait till Monday. That's fucking that gives him 3 days. Okay. So he has so much to prepare for the case. You can't do that. Now, she would have breaks and stuff. So I don't know. Again, what Tina told me is that LP, again, when she's doing stuff, she breaks her conversation. I've seen this. I've seen it happen myself. So I treated it almost like it was another sentence or something. It would be optimal with an audio log to actually be able to sit down and say, yes, this, but we get a transcript instead. So it says 3 days to prepare for the case. You can't do that. Blame it. And we have not been served yet. So she, even apparently listening to this, which I think is amazing, she was trying to tell this lawyer that she had not been served yet, even though they had damn well, all the service stuff, it had gone out. I mean, it was pretty clear what had happened with this, but apparently LP stuck to the whole we've never been served. I mean, apparently that's one of her major talking points, which makes sense because she did that. I shouldn't say she. I should say the Fats. Which is interesting because they start picking up this. How long did you talk to them, LP? How long did you talk to them after they had put this in? Because again, what happens here is according to LP, you have her talk to the other Tina. She's talking about doing some kind of international charge or something, and apparently that scared freaking 2L. That's according to LP. So she says, so we could say the case does not go forward. We've not been served, but he, talking about the lawyer there, said, why do that? Why not beat them at their game? They want to play a game and not serve you at the last minute. Well, let's show up. Let's kick their ass right off the... Tina had written dump, and I was like, did they actually say off the dump? Or she said, yeah, if she wrote it down, they had said, it's usually kick them right off the dome or something, but she wrote kick them right off the dump, which, God, made me laugh. I was like, okay. So I wrote dump in there, Tina, she was clear in what she said, but I wrote Tina was unclear because she wrote in dump. She said it was that, but she said, well, I mean, maybe she could have said something like that and it not came through, exactly right. I don't know. But oh God, some of the things they get wrong anyway. But wouldn't that be funny if she's like, let's kick them, let's kick their ass right off the dump. Oh, well, I'm good with that. That's what LP says on it too. And Tina's like, now, I don't think you should extend it. I think you need to get this behind you and concentrate on what you need to do. And LP's like, yep, I agree. And then there's this section in here where Tina's noting. Now, Tina said that this stuff happens quite a bit, that there is a lot of yelling. It was one of those major things. This is noted in the transcript quite a bit. Now, when I'm reading this to you, this is for informational purposes. This is not for you in any way, shape, or form to contact anyone that is associated with all of this. I want to make that very, very clear. Okay. So do not contact any morons associated with this case or any other case for that matter. Don't do it. Never do it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, hey, appreciate you folks. This is the most best soap opera ever. I know. It is, isn't it? Oh, yes. By the way, never take the goat off. Oh, no. I like fainting goats, by the way. That's what that is. Some people are like, it's a dying goat. No, that's a fainting goat. Fainting goats, they pretend to faint. I had an uncle one time that had a fainting goat, and it was the funniest thing because it would, if you startled it, it would pretend to faint, and it liked to sit in a swing on his front porch. He just had this goat and it would sit around, right? Well, when it would get startled, it would just fall out of the chair. It would just it would just sit there, and when you startled it, it would just go limp. And like I said, it was the funniest thing ever because it would just go flying out of the chair limp. Oh God, it used to crack me up. So anyway, Tina's like, I don't think you should extend it. I think you need to get this behind you and concentrate on what you need. So she's like, okay, yeah. And then there's this part where, again, it's HG getting yelled at, eat the bread. Eat your bread. The bread's delicious. Eat it. So apparently, again, from the notation there, that's just some random, I guess. This is why I always wondered. Again, LP, you can totally set this straight. I always wonder what these people have on LP. And I do wonder if they have her. Yeah, I mean, some of the yelling is freaking crazy. You hear it. Like, you don't have to be on a phone or anything. Again, you can hear the yelling because of what's his face, Tom Collins. Like anybody, like if there are any anti-Hales people, again, you know, because you don't like that guy, you linked up with these crazy people that just some of these people are terrible human beings. Yeah, I know. But Tina's like, she's going to call John, or is this lawyer going to call you? So LP notes, no. She's been messaging John the whole time. Now, apparently this is a real point of contention, which she's also going to say that she doesn't trust. It's interesting because when she talks about people she doesn't trust, she talks about John Cook. She doesn't trust John Cook. I always thought that was, I don't know. I always just thought that was interesting. You know, I don't trust her. Well, I don't trust John either. You know, one day they'll be in a chat. Like last night, they were in a chat talking about basically mom and dad stuff, you know. And then they went from that to this kind of stuff. I mean, it's bizarre. It's very unhealthy is what it is. It's got to be very confusing. You know, if I were a kid, I think this would confuse the shit out of me. But anyway, so John told her what she needed to do to go to the payment line. That's how any lawyer is going to do it. Go to the payment line, make the payment. Actually, typically, with lawyers, the lawyers I've ever picked up, I've never done a lot of remote lawyering. I always like to get a feel of the lawyer. You know, in this day and age, again, I'm not saying anything negative about this lawyer at all because I don't know anything about it, and I'm not taking LP's word on anything either. But as far as lawyers are concerned, you know, I like to see their mannerisms. I think this is a good lesson for anybody out there too. You know, a lawyer, if you're picking up with them, you're going to pay them a lot of money. So you want to be comfortable in the idea that not only are they going to represent you and represent you correctly, but they're going to go out there and they're going to have your best interest at heart. Hey, how are the ads doing, by the way? Are y'all getting any crazy ads or anything? I'm curious. Like I said, it did not. I have to go in and tag and turn on the monetization for each video, and it says it is not throwing high volumes of ads at you, but I want to make sure. I'm resetting. This is why I'm asking again. You are getting some? Okay. Let me see. Not getting, okay. Are you getting a lot of them, folks? Let me know. A few. So are you getting a lot? Okay. If you all are getting a lot, yeah, yesterday it had it on, I thought it had it on moderate. It had it on high. So I put it on my user settings. So it should be cutting off. You shouldn't be getting a lot. Okay. If it gets crazy, 2 ads so far. See, I don't even like that. I'll tinker with it again in a minute. After I get it right, I'll tinker with it in a minute. I don't mind ads in the real, you know, people watching it in the aftermath, but I don't like you guys getting armies of ads. If you don't turn on the monetization, it doesn't count the whole beginning of a live stream. So that's crazy. But anyway, I know you don't want to hear about that. I'm just saying I don't want to bury you all in ads. That is a concern for me. Okay. You're up to 4? Jesus. All right. I'll see if I can do something about it again. I appreciate your feedback too. So LP notes, hey, I got a law firm. It's HWMH something law. This I found to be really odd. If you hired, here's a question for you folks. If you hired a lawyer, would you want to know what law firm they worked at? Wouldn't you know, if I were hiring a lawyer, I guess if you're hiring a lawyer with other people's money, it doesn't count, right? It doesn't really matter to them. But if you and I, like if you and I are going out and we're picking up a lawyer, wouldn't you want to know how many I don't know, people are working with them, like if they have a real law firm, how they're spelled, any of those things? Wouldn't that be important to you? Because I think it would be important to me. But then again, I think when you're probably doing this with other people's money, it changes it up. Hey girl, I heard you coming. I heard the door open actually. What you doing, kiddo? You're having what was it today? You're having a cleaning day. I remember you saying.
It's a lazy day.
No, it was a half cleaning day. I remember you telling me that, right?
No, I said lazy day.
You said I'm going to clean really, really heavily today.
No.
What?
It's a lazy day.
I'm pretty sure you said, Dad, I really want to clean the house today.
Nope.
Oh yeah, you got that little Batman outfit. That's cute. You may have to put it on real quick.
Yeah.
Put it on over your stuff.
Batman Halloween costume. I said it was a Halloween costume.
Yeah, it's a Batman shirt Halloween costume. She's putting it on over her clothes here. So. It's cute. It's fun. I like it. You used to have a cape, but it's still got the cowl on it, and it still looks cool. Here you go.
I'm
Batman. Right. Oh, and is that going to help you clean the house?
Nope.
No. Why are you putting it on then? Because I thought you were having a cleaning day. I thought that was the whole point today. I thought you were going to just work over the entire house, clean everything up.
Nope.
And what is going on then? How are you going to get the house clean?
I'm
Batman. Well, Batman cleans his house. Actually, I guess he doesn't. He has Alfred to clean his house, but whatever. He has a butler. Are you gonna hire us a butler?
We need more money.
Need what?
How much money do we have?
Not enough to hire a butler. That's for freaking sure.
That means more money. We can get
So you're gonna go earn some more money so we can hire a butler?
Nope, you are.
Me? What?
You don't want to have a job.
You don't have a job. How is that going to work? Well, look, hey, Christine sent you $2 and said there's some cleaning supply money for you. Yeah, I think that.
Nope.
Yeah.
I liked it yesterday when we
like
went
that
to
idea.
Murphy's.
Oh, I see you changing the subject.
No cleaning, bag, please.
No cleaning.
No.
I thought cleaning was your favorite thing. Oh man, hey, Rick Friend sent you $2 and said that's for you. So look there, you got $4 already, man. I guess you're gonna save up for the butler fund.
Nope.
Oh, look, here's Andre. Andre sent 2 and said that's for your maid fund or for Candy, whichever comes first.
Candy and Muffins.
Oh man,
Well,
you're making her choose. She's like cleaning, or Candy.
I will go first.
Well, which one do you want?
Muffins, ball candy.
Yeah, of course. I didn't figure that would last. All right. Well, hey, kiddo.
No.
All right. Hey, you want hey, if you want a lazy day, come here. Give me a hug. Come on. You haven't even had anything today. Hey, Dwayne sent you $2 and said that's for your maid fund too. Man, Maybe you will get that made. Save up long enough. You know, it'll be funny when she gets older. It'll be something that she picks up. She'll have one. She'll be like, yes. When I was a kid, I always wanted this and couldn't have one. Now I do have a maid.
We don't.
No, we don't have a maid. That's right. We do not have one. Hey, hey, come here. Hey, here and after sent you $5 with that. That it says that's for whatever you want. Hey,
Candy.
Candy over here there. Lord, so can you say thank you to everybody?
Thank you.
No.
And I like my new headphones I got.
Yeah, I did get her some headphones. She, her
Dad
sissy had some headphones, right? And she was like, man, I need some headphones. You know, she needs some with volume control. And she wanted something where if we're in the car, she could turn on her volume for her Switch game. So,
Yeah, on my iPad.
yeah, or your iPad. All right, come here.
Yeah, no, no.
All right, come here. Come here. You're being crazy, girl. Love you.
Crazy.
Yeah, you're getting loud. I had to mute the mic out because you're acting so crazy. It's too loud, baby. All right, love you.
Tell me if anyone sends me more money.
All right. Yep. Hey, 2012 sent you 2 and said that cleaners get candy. That's true. You clean, you get candy.
That's always say money.
There you go. All right, big. Oh man, Dark Industry sent you 5 and said that's just for you, sounding cute. Oh, that's nice, huh? Man, maybe he meant that for me because I do sound cute.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, nope. That's a no-go. That's a negatory, buddy. She's like, nope. Oh my God, that's funny. That's too funny. She was like, nope. That's not for you.
Yo.
Okay.
Yo.
You're old. So you can't be cute if you're old? Are you telling me that? Since I'm old, I can't be cute?
Maybe if you're a girl.
If I were a girl, I could be cute. I got you.
Yo, Bluey, old boy.
I'm an old boy, so I can't be cute. Okay, I got you. Hey, S. Sean sent you $5 too and said, hey, I got to clean and then you get candy time.
Nope. Candy from our freezer forever. No cleaning forever.
No cleaning forever. Actually, you know what she's wanting to do? We were going through all of our old stuff. Her sissy, first of all, found. What did Sissy find? The player thing?
Yeah, player.
She found a CD player, but we found one other thing. So when they were little, I used to get product samples from all kinds of different places.
And we got a tea set.
I got a tea set. Like I actually got it was the weirdest thing. I had this company send me an actual bone china set and I picked it up and I thought, man, when they're at a certain age, they'll enjoy it. And Sissy there did enjoy it, but this one here is just getting to the age where she can play with it and not break it. You know,
we just need to clean off our table.
But they sent like a really nice china set, like really nice. But I was like, okay. I mean, if they're gonna have a china, why not have hey, if you can get a real one as a kid, that's pretty amazing. So I ended up getting one.
I had a good dream last night.
You had a good dream too? That's great. That is very good. All right. Well, hey, go upstairs so I can finish reading this thing. Okay, baby?
Okay, just tell me if anyone sends me money again.
I will tell you if anyone sends you money. Okay. Love you. She's so funny. Oh, she's funny with that. All right. Let me wake my computer back up here. She cracks me up. The cleaning day thing is such a funny joke. She does a good job cleaning. I shouldn't, when we're doing that, I tell her there was an old, if any of you have ever seen the show Farscape, there was an episode where they had work days and rest days. And it started out as a joke about that, but it started, tomorrow is a rest day. If you've ever seen it, if you've never watched Farscape, you should watch it. Awesome sci-fi show. But It had a joke in there like that, and it turned into a cleaning day, lazy day. So that's what she started calling it. That green veggie, I'll tell her that. Thank you there too. Crafting with Kimmy. Thank you for the Tug. You sound cute, Boom, but Doug's cuter. Yes, I agree. She is very cute. She actually is. I went to, she was running around last night. I went to Murfreesboro and I got me a tumbler. And like I said, I don't buy too many things for myself, right? But I bought a tumbler. It was a Dungeon Crawler Carl tumbler. I don't see many cool things like that out. So I got it. And I was like, man, I really want that. I want it. I've been enjoying the hell out of those. I've got back into reading them, So I brought it home, set it down. She was running around last night with a balloon, running back and forth. And she knocked the tumbler and it smashed on the ground and broke. And it's from Murfreesboro, so it's like an hour plus, it takes us to go over there. So I was not thrilled at all. I didn't even have a chance to really look at it before it got broke. I was like, no. So her though, when she she obviously didn't mean to do it, but she got upset, and she got the little sad eyes and was like pouty and crying for real. And I was like, oh, it's okay. Come here. And I was thinking about it. It's like, I'm calming her down and stuff. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, she just broke my stuff, but she's cute. And she, obviously she didn't do it on purpose, but still she breaks my stuff. And I'm not the one getting calmed down. The breaker of items is the one, because she's cute. And when she does that, oh, it's heartbreaking. You're like, no, it's okay. Oh man. All right. So let's get back to this here. Let's see. So Tina picks up after the not knowing, again, with a law firm. You would think you know your own law firm, but hey, what do I know? So Tina comes in and says, yeah, but I'm just worried about what she's up to now, because there's no. And with this, Tina notes she got cut off. So that apparently, I asked Tina about this too. You can hear it in my conversation with Lynette Preston as well. She cuts people off. She does it all the time. She is always cutting people off. It is very, very annoying. She loves to cut people off. She loves to insult people. So she'll cut you off in the middle of it, because she's got to get that in there. She's like, well, whatever she's going to do, she's going to do. Like, he's a very smart, intelligent lawyer. He's already heard about her. Do tell, Lynette. He's already heard about her. So her lawyer that she picked up, she talked to them about 2L when she picked them up. I already told him she took the donations and is acting like the word was here, but I put it in as it's a see you next Tuesday. I added the typo too. I typoed it twice. Look, I typoed Tuesday 2 different ways. That's amazing. Yay, Tug. I typoed Tuesday 2 different ways. Forget the E in one and added a freaking extra A in the other. Because nothing says literary like that. By the way, if you would, tell people we're live. We've picked up over 1,600 of you, which is absolutely amazing, because after demonetization, they have done so much to cause problems with my setups here. So if you would, like I said, tell people we're on, because nobody's going to be able to find the damn thing. It took away all my tags. I'm having to put them in. And regardless of what people tell you about tagging videos, yes, tagging videos does absolutely help. So he's like, well, I hope, I hope she does this, talking about 2L. I hope she does it. I think this is amazing, though. She told her lawyer that she had just picked up. This is a LP thing to do too. She told this lawyer that the person that is going to give money for them had stolen donations she uses the words donation. She used it with me as well. So when 2L says there were no donations, well, that's weird because she and LP were talking about it, and they were certainly donations when they were discussing them, according to LP. Ooh, baby, not good at all. So anyway, I hope she does it. LP's like, well, so do I, because if she decides not to, he won't do it. So it hinged on, they're calling this dude the day before a holiday. They're telling him the same old, remember with the receipts that we saw with the contractor stuff? Remember they didn't, they were telling this contractor that they were going to bring him in, that all he had to do was have some communication, there. But you notice the difference in these two situations is that LP had some leverage in this one. So I think that's interesting. Like, huh? What? Yes, you have but hey, you gotta go. I'm going through this. You got to go.
What's up, everyone?
All right, go do your thing. Somebody told me that I might be cute, but you're cuter. So yeah, exactly.
But you're telling them how old.
Hey, if you want a lazy day today, you better go do your thing. Unless I can give you some cleaning if you would like.
No.
I know there's a nice living room full of cleaning. No. Okay, we'll go then. Love you. Oh Lord. We decided we were going to go through a bunch of stuff. We were going to go through some closets full of junk and stuff, and really make the space our own. And oh man, we made a giant mess out of it. That's for sure. So Tina said, she's going to call him on a Wednesday night after 9:00 on the eve of Thanksgiving. Really? And LP's like, I know, and say, well, I tried, but I couldn't get a hold of him. That's her problem. That's what she'll say. So here, look, she's talking shit now. Apparently it does happen. But this is the fun thing about it. When they're telling you, oh, they're all pals and stuff. Well, LP was sitting around talking just mad shit about her. She tried to put her in jail. She's talking about how unreliable she is, how essentially she's a liar. She's going to tell us later on how even Bruce is sick of her. Even Bruce. I can say I wouldn't blame Bruce, by the way. I absolutely wouldn't blame you, BBB. Now, this is one of at least 14 of these. There may be more. Because after Tina noticed something. She told me about this too. She noticed that LP was getting nastier and nastier toward her, that she would talk to her like a dog sometimes. And she's like, I'm not going to put up with this. I told LP if she treated me like this, and I told her how I would definitely keep notes on conversations and stuff, because she's going to lie and she's going to say that everything you note about them is an absolute lie. She's going to lie about you, and she is going to try and come in. And that's exactly what happened, by the way. They lied about her. They tried to ruin her reputation. They called her a prostitute, all this stuff which again, LP, it's funny that LP won't look up the people around her. She actually, she refused to do that at first, although she did, again, she called Gabe's probation officer. That's one of the things that she made sure that Tina told me about. So she very much did call Gabe's probation officer and try to get him in trouble about the money thing. So that absolutely happened there. Because like I said, that was one of the things that she was sent over during this time period. She was sent over all the stuff on Gabe, because she said that she was told by Lisa that it was all fake, that it was all AI. And I was like, are you stupid, lady? Look her up. Look these people up. Look him up. You can find it. Oh my God, his mugshot that was she was told that the mugshot that was being posted was AI. And I was like, you can't just look it up and find out yourself. I mean, what is wrong with these people? Why can't they go and do their own research? You know, before I would let somebody hold on to $100,000 freaking dollars that had been raised in my name, I'd know who the hell they were. Because again, you know, this whole oh well, I helped them pick up a lawyer. No, you didn't do shit. Other people paid for this. You didn't do anything for them. You collected the money. Oh, but anyway, all right. So that's what she'll say. And Tina says, and that's when John can go back at her and say, well, no, checkmate. We talked to the lawyer. And it's like, yep, we told you. He said to go to the office line and pay the money on the payment line. And Tina said, you know, maybe you ought to do a 3-way call with her and the lawyer, make sure she gets it. And make sure it gets done yourself. Then LP throws in we don't have her phone number. Now, I thought, like, when I was going through this, Tina could not tell me for sure if this meant that John doesn't actually have her number too, but they have their chit chats over Messenger. Wouldn't that be interesting? The only person let me just say it this way. I have found out that more people in her orbit, people that you would think would have her number, you know, because they work with her. They do, you know, whether it's whether it's this, that, whatever. There have been multiple people that have no way to contact her. I think that's wild. You know, the person, how can you sit around and say, you know, these people, they're this or they're that, and you have no way to even contact them? Again, we're not talking about random YouTuber, you know, someone else out there. We're talking about somebody who has your money. If somebody has my money, I better damn well be able to get a hold of them. But no, just Messenger. These people could grab it anytime they want. Isn't that wild? So it notes, though, we, not I don't, we don't have the number. My mic's going in and out. Shouldn't be. Do you all hear a problem with the mic? I don't hear anything there. Let me check the setting. Test. Let me check the setting there. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 second. No? Yeah, maybe it's on hey, do this if you're having problems. I ask that not to question you either, but to figure out if it's on my side. I wanted to make sure. So what you do, refresh your YouTube, because oftentimes YouTube can get caught in this weird bubble issue, essentially, and you have to go in and you have to refresh it. YouTube gives you some of the lowest settings for your stuff, but if you go in, like if you're on your phone, there's a little wheel up in the top right hand corner. If you click the wheel too, you'll notice the settings. Look at the quality settings. If you ever notice that you can't read the thing on the screen, it looks like mud, for example, they've probably put you at 480 or even lower, you know, lower than 1980s television. So, you know, sometimes you have to adjust that. But on the other side, if you live in nowhere, like say I do, sometimes I might have to go the other way and I might have to adjust it down. So just make sure that your settings are good. Okay. But love to you guys. Appreciate you. So they know we don't have her phone number. And Tina said she was saying something. She was saying, call. Oh, that's weird. We've never been given her phone number ever, LP continues. So you got to remember, this is after the Christmas stuff. This is after they've met her in real life. She still hasn't given them. She has used them like a piggy bank. but hasn't given them the ability to call her at all. They have to either message her or else. See, that's crazy. If I'm dealing with people, they at least have a Google number for me. And some people, I'll give them my number. I can change it later on if I really had to, but I give some people off and on my number, just depending. I don't, it's wild to me to think I've never held $100,000 for anybody, by the way. They were saying last night too, Megan Fox, you gonna talk about me stealing money? You stole thousands of dollars. It's like, wait, what? So that'll be fun how they try to spin. Actually, Megan Fox is the thief, not her. That'll be fun too. I'm sure Megan will enjoy that on Monday when she's like, what the hell? That'll be real fun. It'll be real fun too. Megan, by the way, like that we have picked up a sponsor. With that, they have most certainly gone after. Now they're all in their denial thing. Marla's like, nobody's done that. Yeah. Oh yeah. They were even talking about it in their chats. So we'll talk about that. That'll be fun to go over. But it was something to bark about. But anyway, she said, "Oh, we've never had that." It's like, well, that's crazy. And LP tells her, well, she only goes through Messenger. Again, you're not talking about, if this were just some random thing, like I wouldn't want LP and them to have my number, but at the same time, I would have, with this, Tina, like for example, had a Google Voice, and with that, she could get a hold of my phone right away. It would come over to my phone. So from Go, she had a phone number she could call. She didn't have to try to message me and hope it would go through, because, but even with all of that, like I said, it's just amazing to me, because we're not talking about somebody that that doesn't have something valuable. This is somebody that has a whole lot of your money. She also says here too, this is going to be interesting in this call. She makes a threat in this. She's like, if they won't do something, then I'll spread it everywhere. I thought that's amazing. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's amazing in this. You're going to laugh. So she continues forward in talking about this by saying, let's see. She says, well, she only goes through Messenger. Tell me that's not shady. She says, tell me that's not shady. Tina's like, well, very shady. I mean, you have my number somewhere in the beginning of when we started talking. I gave you both of them. So, I mean, look at this. Even LP is like, this is shady business. She's talking about how they won't give me, they have my money, but they won't give me their number. I agree. That's very shady. Again, I would be very disturbed by the entire idea. Again, you have my money. If it were anything else, like I said, I wouldn't care. But with having the money thing, I think that points out that there's a problem, in my opinion. That says, wait a minute. And you would think, I really am curious with them talking about this, if all of that John Cook talk, where he's chit-chatting, we assumed it was on the phone, if he's actually been just messengering her, this whole time. Because if that's the case, then that's pretty wild too, right? Anyway, so Tina told her, that's weird. There's actually a point made in this, so it is a counterpoint with it. Tina, after she discussed these people, she didn't give their number to anybody, but guess what happened to Tina? Tina starts getting calls where people are, again, they're not just like hang up calling or prank call. I have that every now and then. Hell, I had I had the guy that Ricada got in a lawsuit with call me one time. It was weird. I actually thought he was a scammer or something at first, because no, he sounded nervous or whatever. But then he called, and whatever. I mean, if it's a unknown number and I don't answer it, whatever. But Tina had calls coming in that weren't just harassing. They were calls that were, again, excuse me, I hate even bringing this up, but it's so gross to me. They were calls that would bring up her deceased son, and they would use a voice mod, and they would say things like, mommy, why did you let me die? And that is horrible, because I can tell you, with talking to Tina, one of the, and as a parent, you can imagine, I can't imagine the circumstance, but as a parent, you can imagine like how awful and haunting that would be. And Tina is haunted by it, understandably. And these folks, they want to torture her. That's what these people do. They took her number, and this wasn't happening before then. So it's tied to this. They dump her number out there, and suddenly they have some of the nastiest. Yeah, it's evil. It is. Like, you can't call it anything else. I see, people talking about cruel, and yes, it is. It's evil. It's absolute evil. So anyway, she notes that, you've had my number. Yeah, we don't have any number for her whatsoever. It's not on the internet, so we can't get a hold of her. So despite all that money, this was one of the points that she made. I can't get a hold of her ever. Like, she controls when somebody gets a hold of her, and I can't do it. Like, that's wild to me. Again, all that money. But so Tina tells her, that's just effed up, Michelle. And LP is like, I know. There's nothing right about her. But of course, we didn't see it, because we were on the, oh my God, this is so wonderful end, We were on and again, she's talking about how at that moment we thought this was so grand. Yeah, of course. They thought they had found a way to get rich. They were like, oh, hell yeah, we making bank. No, you weren't making bank. They made bank. Like, that's the reality to it. Michelle didn't make bank. They made bank. They made bank on her name. They made bank on the situation that they made much, much worse. Again, like I've noted too, you don't have to like a Jeremy Hales to see how jacked up this situation is. And there have been a lot of people that were attached to this, that were donors and more, that they walked away. They're horror. They were turned on, or they were treated terribly, and they end up walking away. It's amazing. If they would have, again, Only Me is a terrible example sometimes, because there are some nice donors out there. You look, some of these people, though, they didn't necessarily get tired with the LP stuff. Even Only Me was like, it wasn't LP in them. It was the fact that nothing was proven done. So understandable. But anyway. So Tina, we were on and Tina said, yeah, it just makes me wonder how much Bruce knows about her. Now, this is where the notes really get interesting, because it starts talking about Bruce and talking about his feelings about her. Because, well, and again, I don't know the current stuff, but what I do know is Bruce used to go on that show. Bruce used to do a lot with these people, right? You'd see him all the time over there. He was always, doing whatever with them. And then suddenly it just all fell off. I mean, you guys noticed that, right? That like Bruce, he was a fixture on their show. In fact, he built their show. Let's just be honest, man. Bruce made them. He did. He made them. He gave them this case. He made them, because without the case, the hate for Hales might have gotten them some audience, but the thing that really got them any notice or notoriety was having the lawyer that was suing, and having, you know, there were all these components. Without those components, well, you see it now. You see it not doing as much. And again, we'll see how well that holds up. But if Hales continues not to talk about them, I don't know how they. I don't know what they do. Just to be honest, they're in a bad way. You know, the case will continue, but they don't read court documents. So, well, how does that help them? I mean, they've made it clear they don't read court documents. In fact, the interesting thing that happened the other day, they were looking at a court document. They had some people knock on or come over or talk or whatever, and they quit. But you know, when they were going through that, they didn't go, they were looking at a document. They had started somehow on it. They didn't go back and finish anything. Because, oh my God, why would you actually cover the truth of a document, right? Those boring documents. But anyway, so talk about Bruce. He can't stand her. Bruce said first, it was all about, you need to do what Lisa wants. You need to do it. So apparently, Bruce was at first telling her, you know, you need to do everything that she wants. Like she's your PR essentially, you know, which is interesting to see from her own mouth. So she was saying, you know, when this first started up, Bruce was telling me, I got to do this, I got to do that. Now, to be fair, Bruce, according to Tina, was still saying you got to send them stuff because their show is dying out. So like I said, I think they have a tumultuous relationship, but how is it right now? I don't think it's great. So she's like, she's just a little hard to deal with. That's all. Well, he got over that real quick. So Bruce at first, I messed up my thing here. Actually, that should have been here. My bad. I cut that. Well, you can see where I let AI help with. I use M dashes sometimes, but that is like where I told AI to make sure I didn't have many typos, and instead it put fucking M dashes all through my stuff. I was like, don't put M dashes in my stuff, you know. I didn't ask you to change the stuff. I just asked you to make sure there were no typos. And it was like, oh, not enough M dashes. Sorry, sir. So anyway, that drives me crazy with AI though, because it's like, you know what you really need and everything? You need more M dashes. Isn't that funny? Oh, anyway, it goes, well, he got over that real quick. So at first he was saying, well, she's just a little hard to deal with. You know, it's no big deal. And according to LP, well, he found out real quick, it wasn't just that she's hard to deal with. She's terrible. I said, isn't that interesting to hear? I like the fact that, again, it's funny too, because like with Lisa, she damn well knew that LP talked a lot of shit. What does she have on you besides? I wonder what she has on her besides money. I wonder if she's got more on her. So Tina said, well, I was going to say, has he realized now what kind of trouble she's really got you in? You know, because of her big fucking mouth. And LP was like, yeah. I don't like it. I think it's actually I put you don't like it, but I think it was a we don't like it. She's got him, or he doesn't like it. See, when I looked at that and I read it, I made a typo there. Yeah. He don't like it. She got him in the same trouble. So according to LP, Bruce doesn't like 2L because he feels that she got him in trouble. Isn't that interesting? I do think that she definitely didn't help his situation ever, but to, think that she's the only reason. I mean, she definitely burned him with that audience he very much built for her. So I do agree with that. But for him to be like, she got me in trouble. Well, Bruce, you got yourself into some too, it looks like, brother. But Tina said, you probably wouldn't be going through this common court case had she kept her big mouth shut. And LP is like, yep. If she would have kept her mouth shut, she's the cause of the case, which is interesting because she's going to double down on something she said to me. She's going to double down on the idea that 2L has done more bad to her than Jeremy Hales has. Isn't that interesting? They sit around and talk about how Jeremy Hales is this terrible monster who's destroyed her life. And yet in private, she talks about how actually it was 2L that destroyed her life. Sorry, I had the door up. I was like, no, close it. I hear you sneaking up on me. So she's like, yeah, I'm just, Tina, I'm so done with John. So the way this was noted, and I thought that this was interesting, she throws in, so apparently she likes to go after John quite a bit sometimes. Sometimes it'll just pop out of the blue. Sometimes she'll decide, she'll be dogging on John a little bit more. I mean, it's just, it sounds kind of interesting, because like I said, she'll be dogging on Lisa, and then all of a sudden she'll start dogging on John, which I think is probably a jealousy aspect too. I mean, she's probably mad because John started taking her side on everything. According to multiple conversations, apparently, like she said that, so Tina said that it came across as part anger, part jealousy, that she was angry about other things, but also she's angry about because again, we know for a fact they had talked about John was talking to Lisa every single day about what? Well, I mean, you figure that out. But LP was like, walking up to with John, LP was like, I'm so done, walking up to me saying, F you, shut up. He made a snide remark on his way out of here. He said, I know when not to burn my fucking bridges. So John Cook is talking about with 2L, oh, I'm not going to burn bridges with her. Man, this piece of shit stole your money. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter because it wasn't actually John's money to begin with. So, but he's on the love train, I guess, with 2L. It's so bizarre. Like John, his obsessions. And he kept, what I'm wondering, John, is John brought up things about loofahs and what like type of loofah that, certain people would be and this and that. And it makes me wonder, what are you trying to get, John? What are you trying to do? Do you think there's a rainbow at the end of that? A rainbow of loofah colors at the end? Are you like, ooh, baby? I mean, what's going on? It is real strange because he, like I said, he brings up loofahs and all kinds of other weird, gross stuff. And these people run a peen factory and they have a loofah mobile. So, I don't know. And LP said, I turned around and I said, excuse me, but let me tell you something, dude. Me telling Tina that I'm taking international control of this or whatever is probably what's making her go ahead and do this. Now, interestingly, this is not about that Tina. This is about Tina and Brian. It's confusing in this situation. But John is complaining at her because she had talked to this other Tina, which is funny because that other Tina went and ran to the Biggins right off the bat and told on them, of course. But she had told them that she was going to file something internationally. She was finally going to do something. Which, again, all this tells you is she's trying to leverage shit. Because she said, I'm going to put them in jail. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's like, no, you just wanted to try to leverage them into doing something. Because she knows that the money's gone. She said it before. So she scared them. Of course, like, this is what she's saying here. I scared them, essentially, into doing what I needed them to do. Which, if that's the case, fun times, you know. I mean, hey, in that, I would actually agree with LP's move. You know, she does need to force these idiots to do something. So, I mean, that would actually be a good move. So she says this, and they had other conversations about it with or another talk with the international thing coming up. And, but she brings it up here. She's like, I told this other person that I'm doing that. And I'm sure that right there, me telling Tina that I'm going to do that, that's what made her jump through this hoop here. She's scared. She's scared that I'm going to get her arrested because she dealt with this international stuff. Isn't that interesting? I think that's kind of cool in some way. Man. But Tina's like, oh, that's no doubt in my mind. That's the reason. It scared the piss out of her. LP is like, yep. And she thinks he's probably telling her, oh, she's not going to do that. So with it, she's like, yeah, John is probably telling her that I'm not going to go and I'm not going to contact international, but I am going to do that. She makes that clear. Oh, I am going to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Now, remember, she added at the beginning of this how she would get even with them. That was her plan. So she's just going to wait until all of this is over, and then she's going to do something. So again, remember, her whole plan this entire time sounds like she may be playing to, God, I will laugh and laugh if this is the plan, that after like her bankruptcy in Ohio is situated, if she turns on them again. Because again, I mean, ultimately, like, she's going to note, she's telling a lot of people that 2L did more damage to her than Jeremy Hales ever did, which is an interesting statement from her. Oh, Jeremy Hales, he actually is not as much of a bad guy. Like, think about that statement there. And again, I find it interesting that the antis didn't see a problem with that. I mean, don't you think that's kind of crazy? Like, you folks, don't you think that's kind of nuts? For her to be like, yeah, You know, compared to these folks, actually, or compared to this, or compared to that, he's actually not that bad. But I thought he was the monster that ruined your life. Well, he didn't ruin my life as bad as she has. She says, yeah, you are. So she tells her, oh, yeah, you are, because I'm going to ride your ass until you do. And I'm going to do it because I'm your friend. Like, Tina actually was trying to, the craziest thing is Tina tried to help her. She tried to get her help outside. She even went to people and got them together to talk with her about how to handle this. Again, maybe could have recovered some of her funding. If she's so afraid of this, probably could have ended up with her a few $1,000 in a bank account, if nothing else. But nope. LP is lazy and short-sighted. So she noted, check this out. Oh, I don't need, and then I put, I don't know. Like there's something. She said a word in there, and apparently Tina wasn't sure what the word specifically was. You know, she couldn't make it out. So she put in but I put in an I don't know. That's what that's there for, okay? Because I didn't know what the word was, and she couldn't remember. You know, if she couldn't remember, then how do I know what the word is? So I just put it, I don't know. But I want to do it. I said, she hurt me. She's hurt me worse than Hale's had. He hurt me pretty bad. But she pretended to be a friend. Yeah, she pretended to care. She has hurt my child. She made my child fall in love with them. Now, if you look at that, again, I know we get some people, some anti-Hales folks that look at that and say, oh, no, that's not. Dude, she said, I've got it recorded her saying this same thing. So this was her narrative about not just she hurt me, but she hurt my child because she betrayed us. That was her thing. She was telling many people at the time that, again, Lisa had done more harm than Hales ever could have. So when you listen to this stuff, I mean, again, it should make you wonder if it's, I guess my point in this is, if somebody is telling you that a person has destroyed their life, and then suddenly they're going with well, they destroyed my life, but this person destroyed my life. Wait, what? What does that even mean? But she said, oh yeah, she made my child fall in love with them. Again, she leveraged the kid against them. And she said that to me. I have a voice clip. I've played it before. So if you doubt that is something that was actually said, again, I have played her saying these exact words. So she very much is saying that, again, Lisa is worse than Jeremy Hales. Now, why is that important? Well, it should give these people pause. It should make them question, like, what the hell? You know, what's going on here? If Lisa's worse than Jeremy Hales, what exactly does that mean? So again, I'm just noting what was, and again, she said that to me myself. So it's not like I didn't hear her say these same things, which were kind of wild to hear, by the way. You know, Lynette, by the way, is a very manipulative person. You can hear it. You can hear it when you talk to her. When I spoke to her, I've spoken to many people with all types of issues that they want to fix, people with issues they don't want to fix. I've talked to people with, different type of personality disorder. I've talked to monsters, people that if I told you about them, you would not believe they were real, because I've, talked to them in the scope of the state referring them, and you get kind of a feel for how people are. And in talking to her and some of the things that she said, I really, again, they can either say that if she tells the truth about stuff, then she had to be telling the truth about Lisa as well. And Lisa did all this harm to her and her child. And she said also that Lisa called CPS on her too. You have to remember that as well. I mean, that's a big portion too. As it says, are the ads popping up again? Here, I'm going to try something else. Give me a second. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I can turn this stupid thing off. It pisses me off. Give me a minute. I'm going to try this. All right. I'm going to try clicking something else on the ad thing. See if that stop. Well, okay. Now I turned something else on my own. Okay. So let me know if that helps out with it. Okay. It may take it a couple of minutes to pop up, but I put it on a different override setting. Maybe that'll handle it. Cause like I said, I don't mind ads coming up after our show, but I don't like ads coming up over and over. So from now, well, give it about 5 minutes, and then from 5 minutes forward, see if that makes a difference. You know, I know some people are getting some. You haven't got, yeah. See, some people are getting like barraged, and some people aren't. But I'm trying to do that. Okay, so let's continue here. LP said, you know, she made my child fall in love with him, and then ripped it all away like it meant nothing. And that's not fair. Now, Tina noted she would go on about gypsies. You know, that seems to be a thing that LP does. So she mentions this here, and you'll see a whole thing about this. I still think she's a gypsy. I think she's a Romney. Yeah, I honestly do. I don't think there's a speck of Italian in her. I bet you she's Romanian. I don't know. LP says she acts like a gypsy. That's what gypsies do. And LP is like, well, yeah. And the funny part about this is, yeah, I wish I could have talked to my sister, because the whole time we grew up, I told my sister, I said, Dad, his parents, my father looked, for me, my father looked gypsy. My aunt says that he'd, your brother, sister, and it said Dad was a freak, because I guess there's something there. I was like, wait, what? she calls her dad a freak? That's kind of strange, because he's a gypsy. Okay. But supposedly they're crazy. Tina is like, freak? What? So I'm like, no. My dad had that jet black hair. He looked like a gypsy. So I told my mom, I said, I hope you're a gypsy. I can tell you right now, my mom always told me you act like you have gypsy blood. Tina's like, well, if you send me a picture of Lisa. Now this is when you're going to get some conversation about how fat Lisa is, because she starts dogging on her a bit about her being fat. I can tell somebody's Romanian just by looking at them. Then there's the HG thing. So she notes, LP starts yelling, can you shut the phone off? Where's my phone? Where is it? And Tina said, well, she just said hi. So she's got this. And LP's like, oh, it was weird. I just got butter and shit on my phone. She shouldn't. So, you know, just in the middle of conversation, the yelling reportedly starts again, and it tells her she just wants attention. And Tina's like, well, that's not a good way to get it, kiddo. You know, because I mean, she's trying to help her out and not get her screamed and yelled at, which apparently is good. See, if I had my little interrupting crazy right here. I mean, sometimes, like I said, I have to be stern with something, but there's a way to do it. There is an absolute way to do it. Isn't that right, kiddo? Yeah. Hey, do me a favor.
What?
Can you go upstairs so I can finish this up?
How much do you have left?
I've got a bit. I've got quite a bit still. But can you go upstairs so I can read on this? Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you. Kids are always looking for attention. They like it. They love affection. They like to be told that they're loved. They need it at especially that age. They need to be constantly told that they're loved, you know? I mean, it's just like all humans like to know that they're wanted. So there's a way to handle it, just like that, okay? She's coming down. She just wants to say, hey. So if you tell her nicely, hey, can you go do this? That's how you handle situations like that. What I know, though, right? I just dealt with kids in horrible situations. I always like it when the antis are like, what do you know? Well, I don't know. The state used to refer me children because they had been through some of the worst situations they could ever imagine. So maybe I don't know anything. Huh? But anyway, hair's very long. They start going back to 2L all the way past her butt. Very, so like very gypsy. She does the crystals. LP goes, she does the crystals. That's gypsy. She wears the hair. What about she put the word, but I think it was bedazzle. You know, she said, I think that's what we noted. Bedazzle. And then LP said, well, the hat is like that of an old school gypsy. Then Tina's like, well, does she have like lots of jewelry? Does she what's called spaz out? LP said, I didn't notice that at all. Tina said, well, because gypsy women, you know, they wear a lot of jewelry. And LP's like, well, I wear a lot of jewelry, so ha 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 ha, or whatever. So Tina was like, well, I mean, at the time, they do have to be, well, depending on who you're married to, but most is what I've seen. And Tina's like, they're always ready to go. Like they like the bling, and yeah, and the girls are sexy. The big dresses, the big hair, big everything. I've seen that on TV. Tina said, I mean, they're right down the road from here in Maryland. There's a whole town. You've got on one side, there's Irish settlers. On the other side, there's the ones from Romania. It's constant battleground. Like, oh yeah, it's a fighter. Now there's a point to this. Stay with it. You're gonna find this where it goes. And LP is like, but they break the law. They rob people. That's what they do. So she's saying, yes, these people are criminal, which is amazing because behind the scenes, she's accusing these same people that she is now hyping up yet again of being criminals. She tried to get them arrested again for stealing from her. So, I mean, make no mistake, she wanted them in jail, but for whatever reason now, well, I mean, I could say what reason, not whatever reasons, exactly why, but for the reason now, yeah. Like most of them are in construction field. I would say a lot of wrong men, though, they really do care for their families. Now, this is where it's going to come up about her size. Yeah, they do. LP said they don't want their wife to work. They work. They don't make the wife work. Tina's like, no, I agree. Which is how it is with Gabe and her. She don't work. He works. And Tina said, yeah, he works indeed, right? Yeah, he's proud. Then LP is like, but she's large. I mean, she's large. So maybe it's because of her weight that she doesn't work. I don't know. So she's like, she's so big that, well, maybe that's, again, she starts talking about her weight, which was interesting. This was one of the things that... that clued people in. See, this is something I thought would be interesting to bring up to folks because they're like, well, these people, they talk about her weight and stuff. Actually, LP talked about her weight. That's how people knew. She tried to say, and she does this here as well. She tried to say, but she was extra tall, like she's 6'4", which is some bullshit. But she talks about how big she is. So she's like, so maybe it's because of her weight. I don't know. She's like, is she fat? Tina asked, and LP's like, oh yeah, yeah, she's fat. So LP is just straight up, oh yeah, she's again behind things. What's amazing is how many things. Also, for the antis out there, how many things have to come up where this person is just talking shit. And this is at the point where she's trying to put her in jail. I cannot say that enough. Before you're like, well, maybe, maybe it's pretty nasty times. And like I said, I'm amazed. I am constantly amazed at some of the things that I find out about. I thought it was funny because when Tina was talking, she was like, oh, she talked a lot of trash about her. Like she did it quite a few times. And she'd mentioned this, like I said, but I didn't realize like they were transcripting of her talking all this smack. Oh my God, it's so good. They just burn bridges, And again, I wouldn't see a problem with talking smack about. If somebody ripped me off, I'd have some pretty nasty things to say too. I just think it's funny because they've made it like criminal. Remember, if you've talked about her and talked about how she's fat or this or that, you're a monster, a body shamer. But apparently that's what they do. They talk smack. So does that mean they're all these things too? Or does that only count for certain people? I mean, am I the only one that can't do that? Or is LP a monster as well? I'm curious. But LP is like, yeah, well, Tina said, I didn't know that. Oh, she's big, tall, but she's also big round. Yeah, she's a good size. She's probably 6'4". Like 6'4", by the way, no fucking way. Myself, you've seen, if you look at pictures of a person that are 6 foot, like for myself, I'm 6'4", depending on what I wear, 6'5", right in that area. As I get older, I stoop more, because you get old. You just do. But if you look at pictures where I've been in like a convention stuff, you can tell I am tall. And she is not that. I mean, that is abnormally tall for a woman. 6'4", no way. It's just no freaking way. Just funny though. She continues on and says, so let's see. Like she's big, she's tall. Wow. She's a tall. When I hug her around the belly. And again, I thought it was interesting because like again, when Tina brought up that, she said before that I've had this for a minute too. It's just, it took a lot of time. Like these things take an exorbitant amount of time to go to make sure that her notes, I'm transposing them correctly. So there has to be a lot. That's why this is taking a while. But this isn't something that's like just now. It's just something just now you haven't seen because it's taken. This is a shorter one. She marked the time at about, I think it was 16 minutes is what it said. 16 minutes and something. There are some of these that are generated off 45 minutes or more. So I'll go through more of them and fix them. But it's time consuming, just to note that for you. It is time. So if I think I'll have time. I'll do another one this week. I'll go through. There's a couple of them when I read through like the notes on them so far. I thought they looked kind of interesting with some of the things that are noted. So I'll probably go through those too. But she's like, yeah, wow, yeah, she's pretty tall. I don't know how I can tell, but I'm really little. Well, compare her to John. Is she John's height? He's like, I see. I can't say that I ever saw them stand it next to each other. Gabe is short and small, and she is big. Tina's like, well, she probably wears the pants in that relationship. And LP says, oh, I think so. I think so for sure. Oh, Gabe. Catching strays in every conversation, sir. Who wears the pants? Who run by the town? 2L run by the town. I love it. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. She wears the pants in that relationship for sure. Well, and let me, I want to tell you, that, let me know just now, this will continue what happens. Let me go get a hold of John and see what he says, because if he doesn't talk to her and she doesn't pay, we don't have a lawyer. It's like, oh, that's just, LP is like, yeah, that'll be bad. And then she says this: if you don't think I won't spread that all over. So she's saying if she doesn't do it, oh, you don't think I will wreck her for this? I mean, that is absolute, again, where they're talking about being pals and stuff. Well, that's interesting. So if she doesn't do exactly what she wants, oh, she's going to spread it I thought she didn't do that kind of stuff, though. I thought she said she didn't engage in that type of behavior. That was just other monstrous people. Bugs Bunny, she is. She's crazy sometimes. She enjoys. You know what's fun about kids? They enjoy life. That's why they're fun, because they're at the age where everything is new. And when she, you can tell that she's excited about life. Because they're at that age where everything is amazing, everything is fun. She just and she's just funny. Both of them are really funny. They're good kids too. They were very good kids. So anyway, she said, now this was interesting. Like this, well, Tina says, well, I would hope that if she doesn't do this, John hops in her shit. It hops in it hard. And LP says, but see, I don't know. I don't trust him either, to be honest. Well, crap, man. So she just said in the span of this little part here, she not only went after one person, but she decided to trash John as well, and to be like, I don't trust him either. Now, I don't blame her for this, because again, apparently there was a lot of communication going on behind, according to well, I guess quite a few. I think this is pretty well documented by now, so we can take this as fact. There was conversation going on behind the scenes where John was talking to 2L while 2L was just dogging on her. And again, I think these people play both sides of it, but the way she talks about John, it makes it sound like she hates him. Maybe she does. I mean, absolutely. There are relationships of convenience. This stuff does happen. I find it interesting because of, if somebody were doing this to me, I would absolutely fucking wreck them for it. If somebody were talk like with the 2L stuff, if they were behind the scenes while somebody was holding out my money and they were undermining me, oh, I wouldn't just be mad about it. I would be at the get even stage about it. I guess that's my point. I'm sure most of you would probably feel that way too. Yeah. If somebody had kept your money, because regardless, it's just like the only me thing. Like I said, I don't like only me, but only me was right. Well, I don't like LP, but LP was 100% in the right. She is correct. It is her money. These people don't own her money. And it's funny, when they go live and they tell the world that it's theirs to do with whatever they want, LP is put in this strange position where she's agreeing because, well, what else is she going to do right now? I mean, they've already kept the money, so, but she certainly didn't agree when she was calling the cops and stuff. So it's like, I don't trust John though. So that's a strange thing to tell like just randomly to other people all the time. I don't trust him. I trust him. I mean, she was last night. So there was this weird thing that happened last night, and I mentioned this. I just think it's kind of bizarre because they're on the same property and they're not online live streaming or anything. And you had LP put it in the chat for John. She said, "Hey, HG's telling her daddy good night or whatever," and why not just call him on the phone or something and let her, like, why, if nothing else, yell out the window. You yell enough. Why not just yell it out the window? It was just very strange to see done that way. It seems dysfunctional and confusing. And again, it's not like, again, I'm divorced. So, as far as that is concerned, I get it, that does confuse things, but I also don't live on the exact same property and communicate through DM to somebody else. It's very strange. And she said some pretty awful things about Cook too. Some things that Cook has never disputed, by the way, ever. He's just 100% embraced. So, but anyway, so Tina says, well, I necessarily don't trust him, but I would hope after telling him she would do it and then not doing it, and it's going to cost him just as much as it's going to cost you. I don't know. So then you have HG in here. She's doing something. It's musical related, but I don't know if it's, I'm guessing the way that this is going is that she's singing according to it. That she's making noise though, but she's singing, and how kids are. They'll pick up something and they will drive you bonkers. There, like you'll hear the little one come down here and she'll have something that they like noise. They like to make lots of, and you're like, oh no. But in this, the notes say, what the fuck is she doing? Can't you stop? Totally. I get you're singing to you're Frozen. Excuse my bad typing there. I get it, but turn it down. Turn it down. It's like, no, she just got louder. Yeah, once I get off here, she'll calm down and shut up. I mean, again, like when I get on the phone, the little one loves to crowd stuff, and I have to be like, hey, stop, go in another room. Like she loves with the phone, she loves attention. Kids love attention, man. They all love it. They all do. It doesn't matter if they're drowning in attention. They love attention. So, but my Lord, there are positive ways to handle a situation, like I said, and there are other ways to handle a situation. Like a child, when a child, you also, I like to encourage creativity. I like to encourage my daughter to do stuff because if you don't, I remember being a kid and how important it was to get validation. So Lynette, I really hope you hear this and just listen for a change, because validation to a child, it does matter. It matters to adults. Why wouldn't it matter to a child? It matters to us. So, of course, it matters to a small child. They need it. They love it. They love not just the validate, like, hey, oh, you're singing beautifully, but man, can you stop for a second or whatever? It's very easy to validate, but to also like stop them in the moment. You know what I mean? You can do both. And yes, children are difficult, but parenting doesn't come with a guidebook. I get it too, but my Lord, I like I said, I try to not raise my voice every now and then. If I need to raise my voice, I try to only use it for a moment, like if like here, if you can hear me, like when I mute my microphone, I if she's upstairs, obviously I would raise my voice like, hey, turn it down or whatever. But it's not yelling. It's just making sure that they can hear me. Oh, no. God, you have to have a bunch of settings. Anyway, I know I spent a minute there, but Lynette, come on, man. A kid's just being a kid, dude. And they're cute at that age. If you encourage them, they'll do all kinds of fun stuff. Tina said, well, let me know if you get paid. LP is like, I'll let you know because I'll be excited. Then she starts yelling over, and it's apparently, I talked to a couple of people, and apparently this is a Berkey. It's not a burpee. So, Tina had listed burpee, and I had to let her go before I validated because she thought she was saying burpee too, instead of what it was. It's apparently a Berkey is what it is, which she apparently had posted about, but she's yelling like, let's see, get away from my Berkey. I put the question mark. Get out of here. If you knock my Berkey over, I'll freaking will freak. I think it said I freaking will freak. It's a typo. This place will be flooded. Get away from it. And Tina asked, what's a burpee? I wrote in Berkey, though, because she was asking her. And I'm sure she probably knew after the fact. She probably found out what it was. But I didn't know what you were talking about there. So, when I looked at the notes for it, I was like, what in the hell are they talking about? But she tells her, it's my water filter. It holds 4 gallons of water almost. And she noted that in there that while all this is going on, that HG is singing and singing loudly. But like I said, I don't know if there was more music, exactly how that was going on. So Tina was like, oh, is that what she knocked over that one day we were on the phone? LP said, oh, no, she doesn't knock it over. She opened the spout, let it run all over the floor. Oh my. LP's like, yep, she's hard. And John says, so here they talk about, so this is interesting too, because apparently John says that she does nothing all day long. According to her, John says that she's lazy and is a do nothing, that she just sits around all day long. I thought this was kind of, I don't know. I thought this was an interesting notation here because she says, John says, you just fucking sit in there and do nothing all fucking day long. Yeah, bull fucking shit. Now, again, imagine this conversation, but imagine it with a kid in the background. And again, if you think that doesn't happen, there are plenty of police calls and more where that stuff, it does very much happen. So she's been talking around the child, according to this. And again, I very much believe that because I've heard her saying some pretty awful things about or to. But she's like, yeah, John says, I didn't do anything. And Tina's like, well, she's a handful, it sounds like. She's a full-time job. Now, he's like, she is a full-time job. And for him to play that game like I don't fucking do anything, and she's, if you just let her go outside and run around, who's going to watch her? That's nuts. I'm here. Hey, close the door, kiddo. I'm on mute 1 second. I don't know if I heard it open, so I'm going to say it louder. I guess I heard something else. So yeah, there aren't a lot of instances. Again, my punishment is raising my voice. Like that is, and it gets across. It works with the kids. It very much does. All I have to do is raise my voice. They don't with everything else. Like they're good to go on it, essentially, So, but they're telling her, So according to her, John wants her to let the kid go run around outside. Now, there's nothing, I'm gonna watch how I note this, okay? There's nothing wrong. It's not bad parenting to have your kids outside, okay? I'm not even remotely suggesting that. For me though, okay, I get updates in this area all the time where I live, right? And we live in a not very heavily populated area. The other day I got an update that said that there was a predator. I forget how it noted it. It was a certain type of offender, I think is what it said, that had moved within X amount of my home. Let's see. What is it called? Alerts. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know if you guys get them, but I get community alerts. And as part of the community alert, one of the alerts that I get is, give me a second. One of the community alerts I get is when certain types of weirdos move in or out anywhere within, I think it's 10 miles of my home. And it's horrifying how often that happens, even when you live in a tiny area. Yeah, here's one. So it tells you, it comes up and says a registered offender. So here's one that I got, for example. I can see it on my phone right now. A registered offender lives less than 2 miles from your home. So it tells you a registered offender has listed their address at blah, blah, blah. It gives you a picture of the person with their name, their aliases, their offenses. This person, for example, theirs was possession of child, let's say, explicit stuff. And it gives you an adult date. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, because I don't, I feel like my parents were very naive about how the world worked. We came from the latchkey generation. And the world, does it swallow people? Yes. But I think, like I said, I think the parents at that time, they were a little naive to what can happen. And talking about a 6-year-old and letting them run wild outside anyway, there's wildlife out there. She's going to bring up snakes, for example. They've brought up other type of predatory animals, but the most predatory animal are human beings. That's the one thing. And again, they've talked about how the people that use the blessing box, all of them have gone to jail. So, these are things that you have to be careful about. And like saying a kid should run around outside, like unobserved. I have to say in this, I agree with LP. That's a terrible suggestion. It's also a terrible suggestion, considering the things they've said about people like Travis. Isn't it interesting? They say that all these people are dangerous and monsters and everything else. And yet at the same time, while all this is going on, they're also saying, hey, well, John wants to just run around outside. And you saw them talking about how they wanted her to be riding her vehicle up and down the road out there and to be chalking off areas, which is dangerous. And again, when I note this, I'm just discussing, do not contact anybody, for God's sake. It doesn't help. Ultimately, it doesn't help. So I'm hoping that LP sometime actually listens. Man, if she would have taken advice, we wouldn't have this craziness to cover, which is, well, that's one thing. But what we would have is, we would have seen her. She would probably be able to walk away with potentially her property and her life intact. So, gosh, Lynette. Anyway, so let's continue there. She's like, because when she's out there, he doesn't watch her. So she's noting he doesn't keep an eye on her. She's going to get bit by a snake. She's going to do something she shouldn't do. She rolls in the dirt, puts balls of dirt on top of her head. I can't allow that. Puts dirt on a man. I remember being, again, there's nothing negative in that either. Although I would say that where they live, the ground out there, that maybe she shouldn't be shoveling that on her, especially like they've had chickens that ran wild and they've had other animals. And if this is a immunocompromised child, then maybe that's a very bad idea, where they talked about the child having immunodeficiencies. Like, I think that would be a problem. So as far as that is concerned, that does sound like it could be a real problem, in my opinion. Again, I'm not the parent, so I think I'm an okay parent, though. I've learned a lot. So I think in this situation, they should definitely not be doing what they're talking about. Again, I don't think I would agree with Lynette on anything, but so she said, oh, I can't have that, especially during the day, which I don't understand what that means, especially during the day. Does that mean it's okay to do it at night? What exactly does that mean? But she said, yeah, you can't let dirt get on her GI tube either. It's like, right. And he doesn't get that. He doesn't get it. Not at all. Dirt in that tube goes right in her stomach. So they talk about her health. I'm going to skip over the health thing. I don't want to hit that. And I think that might be everything in here. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So there was some conclusion as well, but I cut that off. Actually, you know what? Tina's been around. I wonder if Tina wants to add any context to this. Let me ask her. Give me a second. Asking her if she wants to add any context or anything. Because we went over that. If she does, I would definitely let her. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to invite her on for a few minutes. We got a little bit of time before the thing. Give me 1 second. I'm going to shoot her a link. It will just take me a minute. Doing it live is it's interesting with the phone. Give me 1 minute here. Okay. I have to mail it and everything. But you got to admit, this stuff is pretty wild. All right, let's see. Here's the link. And bam. Okay. Let me tell her that I sent it. All right. She should pop on in a few minutes. So with this whole thing, though, again, this is a 16-minute conversation. In this conversation, what's the point in it? Well, the point in it all, like I said, is it proves again. First of all, they lied about. Well, number one, let's go with who's lied. let's go with it that way because it's easier that way. Well, first of all, there were lies about money and what money can be used for. Because at the beginning, remember, money could not be used for anything but specific projects, and that's it. Now, suddenly, it is okay to use money for lawyers or this or that. And it's interesting because these things, they help out. They help out LP, sure, but what they really do is they're items that help out the other party. Because when she wanted money for an RV, which I think was a fair request, if they're not going to finish up the barn dough, they could have probably outright bought, for the amount of money that they got, they could have outright bought their mobile domicile instead of making monthly payments. They had enough money to just outright buy one, and they didn't have the money given to them. Instead, again, it was all excuses on why they couldn't do that, why they couldn't have it. 1 second, my door's opening again. So funny. I'm like trying to hand little Raider off. I like close the door. She will raid again, but so you had that. That was an original like problem that came up. Give me 1 minute. Wait, what? Give me a second. The link's doing something stupid. You have to give me a minute. I'm going to have to shoot it over a different way. All right. One second. Just copy it into mail. Maybe that'll help. All right. So first you had that issue, like I said. Then on top of it, after the money comes out, remember the money was not available for just needs, even needs for a kid or whatever. There was no money available for that. And remember, the excuse was that's not what it was given for. Therefore, I can't use it for that. Now, that excuse has changed, mind you, but at first it was, I can't use it for anything like that. Now it's become anything that I want to use it for. I'm the person it was given to. Therefore, I get to decide what money, who it's for, what it's for. But that, I mean, like I said, that's the first issue that comes up in this. The second issue that comes up in this, it's very interesting, is the fact that she lied. I mean, just straight up lied about the payment for the lawyer. And again, you know, they're like, well, that whose business is that? You know, you don't ask Bruce or this person or that person. Well, their donors definitely have the right to know. You promised to tell them. Actually, they were promised updates on something that's never happened. But if you're going to use the money for something else, then don't they have the right to know that? I would believe they do. Like if I gave to a housing fund and I found out that the housing fund was going to be taken all but a small bit, and that actually the money, there'll never be any proof for what it's used for. It'll definitely not be used for its intended purpose. But hey, a little bit of it might actually be scratched off and used for this other issue. Like I said, I'd like to be apprised of that if I were a donor. So that's another issue. And on top of that, through all of this, you have other things that pop up. Like, well, give me 1 second there. Like the fact that Bruce apparently doesn't like these people, even though he built them up according to LP. Bruce doesn't like them anymore. He knows who they are now, which, like I said, I think is very interesting. Because, again, Bruce built their channel. Imagine building. I mean, I've run into this as a YouTuber. I've helped build people's platforms up, and I've had somebody try to smoke my platform for it later on. There was a guy, like I said, we made tens of thousands of dollars, helped promote comic books and stuff for, and he decided that he was going to create a second comic book. And when he did, I didn't promote it because I was doing other things, but I didn't end up promoting. He didn't like that. So he actually tried to cause drama and take my channel down, which was like, wow, that's not surprising from some folks. But this kind of thing it's even more different because Bruce is not a YouTuber. Bruce is some dude who brought them not just a case. He brought them a hate boner, you know, one that they already hated Jeremy Hales. So he brought them something where they could complain and try to get even, you know, whatever. And he also made them lots of money. Now you'd think that would matter, right? But apparently it does not. It would matter to me. Like if somebody built my channel, there are people out there like right now that I don't fight with or start shit with, that I don't do that because I appreciate things they've done for me in the past. So even with that, but it's interesting how that that definitely does not fly with these people. I mean, you saw that with the way they treat Jeremy Hale. So if that actually worked out, they wouldn't have tried to bury him, but they absolutely tried to bury that guy. It's funny too. So they're really mad right now. They're coming up with all these conspiracy theories on why Jeremy Hales is not talking about them. And it's kind of interesting to watch because they are so dependent on Hales talking about them. If Jeremy Hales doesn't talk about them, they don't know what to do. And it's only been a week now, and they're already having meltdowns about it. It's funny because there's so much stuff that covers for them, but it's funny they've been talking about, well, we keep an eye on that Megan and we keep an eye on that Tug, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you said you never watched our shows. but now you have to, huh? It's weird. I'm also wondering, like, you've got more discussion that's been coming up from behind the scenes from people, let's just say in the know. There's more information that's been coming out, especially since we've been talking about some of the, I'm going to say, camera stuff that's popped up. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to show you too. Give me a minute. I can grab it real quick. I thought this was interesting. So another thing that has been circulated a lot recently, or recirculating a lot, I should say, is the expert witness mess. Oh, what's up? I think it's Tina. Hey, Tina.
I'm on my phone because I can't get it to pull.
Well, you're on here, so you did make it on here. So going over that, do you think there's any context that you'd like to add? Like something that I'm leaving out, or maybe something else you want to throw in there?
Well, the parts about Harley, when she, like before you sent me the link, it wasn't normal. It was stuff like that, John.
Is that the typical, like, what happens a lot though? Is there a lot of that level of yelling?
Oh, worse. I mean, the F-bombs, the cursing, the calling her little names. I mean, that one day she had her fill of it, and she was actually considering, reaching out to someone to take her. Because I actually volunteered. I was like, I'll take her until you can figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. I remember you mentioning that she seemed to be having, how would you say, like a breakdown or something. I think it's the way you put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much for her. And even though John is called Daddy, just from the experience of talking with her and learning, he didn't help during that time, so I highly doubt he's helping now. I mean, I remember specifically one morning she called, and I want to say it was between 9 and 10, because it was usually after tummy time is when she would call. And the dog or dogs had taken and ripped the garbage all over the front, and she was having a meltdown because she was afraid CPS was coming for a follow-up visit, and if they saw that, Harley, if they see this, they're going to take you away. This is what the child is hearing. Yeah. And it made me mad. And before anybody starts accusing me, no, I did not call CPS. Why? Because if they've been there 30 times, they've been told. Well, I'm learning a lot from talking to these different people in power in that area.
Yeah.
They have been told that this is like a game, like a TikTok challenge.
Yeah.
They have not realized that it is where it is and how it got here.
I think that's crazy to to, you know, what's wild is we've learned more and more about the preemptive damage control some of these folks have tried to pull, you know, in specific areas, about how they've contacted authorities, how they've told them, you know, like what you're talking about there, how they told them, well, this thing is happening or that thing's happening. And, you know, not just on this subject, but I'm talking about with anything relating to any blowback they get whatsoever. It's not real. It's just some online harassment.
Right. And I mean, it doesn't help. And the people, you know, at this point, I don't, and this is going to sound so mean, and I really don't intend it to be. I don't care which side you stand on. Everybody should stand for the truth. Point blank, you're not getting it from that side. You're getting snippets of a half of a sentence, and then they make up the rest.
Right. If that, to be honest,
Yeah.
like last night, for example, here's a great example of something that came up. Okay, let me throw this in here. Last night, they started bringing up expert witness again, you know, which Melissa was, yeah. So you had 2L talking about how they're going to add the expert witness. They're going to do this or do that. Well, that's not there. That's not going to happen. Why? Well, there are these weird things in court cases. They're called deadlines, you know, and the deadline to add a expert has long since passed. Now, again, I don't put a lot of faith in belief, though, not doing some stupid shit and being like, well, blah, blah, blah. But Bruce was supposed to do this well back, you know? So,
well, they failed the discovery date. That's why that default was put in to begin with. And that's what I tried to tell her. She's like, no, we don't have to submit because of the bankruptcy. And I kept pounding it in her head. The bankruptcy is not going to help you.
Well, this stuff was when they were, you know, this was before all that. Because, I mean, if you look at the date for this was even before all of the other discovery stuff. You know,
well, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't submit anything.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to find out just how much smack was being talked about people like Bruce behind the scenes, and how much it's amazing to look at some of these notations. You find out they're talking trash about everybody, and it's not like I need to blow off a little steam. I absolutely hate these people. I hate this person so much, you know, blah, blah, blah.
And she did. I mean, you could tell she did. And for her to go running back tells me that somebody's dangling a carrot.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think in reading that, I think she's the one who dangled a carrot. Just to be honest, her carrot was, or rather not dangled, but rather threatened the stick. And she did it right. She actually went and threatened, I'm going to go to international law enforcement. Like it says in that transcript, I talked to Tina and the other Tina, not you, but.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have it right here on my writing, and I'll read it to you verbatim, what I chicken scratched.
Okay.
JC messaged in between today, said, did you say something to Tina? Not you, Tina downstreet, permitting all that. I said, yeah. She went right to fucking Lisa. Lisa, this was yesterday. So what date is this? This is the 26th.
You notice she hasn't had the balls to turn on her publicly, though.
And she's not going to. And I don't know what she's so afraid. Well, yeah, I do kind of know what she's afraid of. But I'm not afraid. Anyway, Lisa says, Michelle then said, Lisa didn't say one thing on her show about the donations to us, except that there was a fund, and somebody decided 3 cents were put in, 3 little pennies were put into this fund.
Yeah, Yeah, see, she was that's the funny thing. They were mocking, so they like to bring up, oh, well, there were penny donors. People put in pennies, some of these Hales people. Well, actually, they were mocking the fact that happened. They laughed at it. They thought it was great because, again, Lynette, without them, she was getting just ran over. And they thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to. I mean, and if she's stupid enough to fall for it, then that's her bad. That has nothing to do with me, you, anybody else.
I think that she's still, because like this thing, it said, let me pull this back up in front of us here. So at the beginning of this, she's talking about getting revenge. She's saying at the end of this, she told you. So
I've got it right here. I know that I need to take action against her. I said, look, I can't even read my own chicken scratch. I said, I'm not going to let this rest. I'm going for it 100%. No choice. I'm at the end of it. She shouldn't have done it. She did it. She wouldn't have lied about me, made all these people hate me, done nothing wrong. And I told her, she did you wrong with that money. She did you dead wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, well, a few minutes ago, John got him. And now this only happened a couple hours ago. So I think he got a hold of him a couple hours ago. Lisa had a chance to call. Oh, what did I write there?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, well, it's interesting. You've taken good notes, though. Very good notes with a lot of this stuff. And like I was explaining to people, they have to understand the context of this. This is after Lynette had started. She turns on everybody, and she started that whole cycle.
They don't realize that I didn't really start taking notes until I think it was October. I talked with her August, September, and things were janky. I mean, a drop of a dime, her personality completely changes. And she's the kind of person that if you're standing in front of somebody and they're talking to you like that, two things are going to happen. You're either going to walk away or you're going to slap them.
Right.
And that's where she was going. And I started taking the notes in October. But when I started memorializing the conversations, I remember telling her, Lynette, I'm memorializing these conversations because you're not going to turn on me, because when you do, I will make sure everybody knows everything I know.
Right.
So she knows that everything that we talked about has been memorialized.
Well, it'll be what's interesting is, like we talked about, you have security cameras and stuff. So a lot of this stuff is probably captured in that, including that conversation. That's your problem. Like she likes to lie and say things didn't happen. Well, unfortunately for her, again, not only do you probably captured conversations there, but she's going to come out and lie and say none of this stuff is legit. But you also told her, like you told me about this. You told her after she had started, threatening and making all these just crazy statements. Because I asked you, I was like, man, I was like, Tina, she's going to turn on you. Like, of course, she's already starting to say some pretty horrible things to me. And I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. I don't blame you. I mean, good God.
Well, I tell you, she thinks she's in with a big dog, but that big dog is a Chihuahua.
Well, she also.
It is a Chihuahua. It yips and it yips and it yips.
Well, they also. I mean, they've bragged about a lot of stuff that they've quote unquote been in. You know what I mean? They've bragged about everything from police to stupidly, by the way.
God, let me debunk that one, shall we? You know what? That woman wouldn't know the truth if it hit her upside her big, thick head. She may think she has the police. She ain't got the police. I've been in contact with some offices down there. And, you know, she gets on these live streams. And
I know that for by the way, that isn't just some thing in passing. We'll let's not ruin any details of what's going on.
I'm
Let's
gonna
just
give
say,
detail.
yeah, no, but that is legit happening right now. There is for sure some stuff that's going on. And if it plays correctly, then it's going to be very interesting to watch. We'll see. Again, you know,
there's only two ways it'll play out.
Well, we'll see what happens, because like I said, I don't put a lot of, you know, until something happens.
I know.
I don't believe anything. You know,
I'm just waiting patiently, and
I get
see,
it.
There's the thing that I have on my side that she doesn't have. I have the truth.
Right.
And everything that has come out of my mouth to you, to Megan, to anybody has been what?
Well, of course, it's been true. Not only truth, but it's been verifiable. Like you've verified so much stuff, like from Go too. I mean, it's funny because from Go you had to, you know, you're like, hey, I'm talking to LP, and she wants me to, you know, here's the message. She's trying to get a hold of you, and of course, I was intrigued, but I was also like, you know.
But I gave you all of my information and said, check me out.
Yep. Yeah, and you even talked about how the stuff that they pull up and they've been trying to smear and slander you with. We talked about that too. We were like, you know, there's another person with your name, this person, and this is easily verified, by the way. All you have to do is, like, I don't know, 12 seconds of freaking verification, and you'll notice.
Pennsylvania e-docket. Just pull it up, people. Pull it up. She's pulling up Florida. Don't bother there, because it doesn't exist.
Well, it just shows, though, that they don't care about truth. They never have. It was all about maligning somebody, because you didn't just talk to LP. You knew information about them.
Yeah, and I know a lot about them. But stuff that I don't share. I'm not a motor mouth. I don't go on you. I've been on your stream. And I've been on Rosalind's. But I'm on Rosalind's because I'm trying to help the child still. You know, she has all the background. I love Rosalind to death. She's doing an awesome job. All of you are.
Rosalind.
I went into this for Harley, not for Jeremy, even though I think the world of him and George. Not for you. I think the world of you and Megan. Not for anybody.
Right.
I went in it for the child. And I went in it with no Facebook. When I was watching the streams, I would watch them on the television, so I could not comment. Because I didn't, and I promised her that. I said, you go in, I only have one account. I have this account. And then my husband has his account, and that's just our names together, Kevin and Tina. And that's it. As far as Facebook, one account. I'm not going to hide behind a fake profile. You know, and I told her, I said, just go in there and look, you're not going to see any posting. You have my word. And I never post it. From August to December, you will not find one post made by me. And if you do, I'd like to see it, because that means somebody got into my stuff. But I don't think that's possible because I've got 3 verification methods. People are trying to hack me on a daily, and they're never going to figure out the password.
Well, they do
I don't
that.
even remember.
Some of them don't even really the method of trying to break in. It's not just about getting in; it's about intimidation. You know, haha, look what I'm doing to you. So
But
people
you're
will
not.
do that.
They're not scaring me. Oh my God, they've motivated me to find more, and I
Yeah,
found so
well,
much more.
I talked about the phone calls with, you know, them trying to pretend like being children, and I mean, that's so gross, Tina. By the way, them torturing a parent that has experienced loss. These are people that supposedly care about children. You know, they love to say that.
They like to beat you over the head with the Bible too.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
called false prophets, and they're pieces of shit. And if they had the week that I had, having to sit in those damn hearings with this pharmaceutical company, you know, these people have no soul. They are dark, and they're all about the money. Show me the money. Well, you know what? I would much rather have a roof over my head, food in my stomach, love in my life, and good people around me. I don't have time for digging up and making up. And I mean, I want to know who in the hell's writing my storyline because Kevin needs to get paid. Apparently, he's my pimp. Right?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy to hear, by the way, because they didn't just malign you, you know, in talking about that. They brought him in, and you know, he has again, you've talked about him and his, you know, his job and with his occupation, and you know, that comes with a reputation, and them trying to destroy his reputation. Again, a dude that has what to do with this? Oh, nothing at all.
He doesn't even know the storyline. He watched a
By
couple
the way,
of.
props, Kevin. I just want to give him a shout out. I like him.
He's in the basement.
Yeah.
If he knew I was up here talking about him being a pimp, he'd be up here all up in this conversation.
He'd be like, "Look at my limp." No, I'm just kidding.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
That's what if somebody called me that, that's what I'd be talking about. I was like, yeah, look at me limping it, pimping it.
When I told him that, he popped his collar and he got the cane and he's doing the show. I said, you just need to sit down, old man, sit down.
That is funny though. See, that's what I would have done too. I'd have been like, oh yeah. But you know, that's what these folks always, it's so crazy how women are attacked by folks like this, you know, because it's always the same thing. You know, so they did the same things with a Megan. They tried to, you know, accuse her of horrible. They're also trying to go back and, you know, now they're trying to say that Megan has somehow stolen thousands of dollars from somebody. Who knows? I'll have to tell Megan about that. She'll enjoy the what.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Where'd they get that from?
I have no. Can you hold this for 1 minute?
Yeah. I can't see the chat, but yeah, I can hold it down. Hi guys, hold on, let me pull up YouTube. I couldn't get the email to open, so I had to. It was really, really weird. It would only open on my phone. Strange. Find that umbrella. There he is. Find that umbrella. Oh, look, that's loose. Okay, turn that off. Find that umbrella. Oh, look, that's how do you turn it off? There it is. Okay, there we are. Thank you, Kelly. There it is. Okay, there we are. Why did it come back on? Okay. Anybody have any questions? Because, you know, there's a lot of stuff being said about me. Ask away. Let's see. Kitty cats, kitty cats, kitty cats. Hi, Christine. Thanks, Ozark. Appreciate it. Oh, smoking cats, I'm sorry. I went through that with my mom. She died of, she had breast, brain, and lung cancer. So that was pretty traumatic.
talking about the calls that they did, though. I just thought that was one of the nastiest things.
Well, they're still doing it, Tug. I mean, but the thing is, they can't be traced through the phone company because they're actually stealing phone numbers from my neighbors. We got a call from his aunt, and I was in her office last week.
They're spoofing numbers. Yeah. People will do
and
that.
They're spoofing. I can't, and they're smart. They're dumb enough and smart enough all at the same time, which is fine. Call away. I don't answer the house phone. You're going to get the voicemail. So, and I haven't gotten calls on my cell phone, which is a good thing. So I hope, well, she can't see the chats anymore because I blocked her. So she won't be able, I hope, to find that number unless she wrote it down.
What nasty people, though. They just make me mad, You know, it makes me mad that they do that. Because I expect them to be nasty. I expect them to do awful stuff. But at the same time, some of the, like, that level is just, it's beyond. You know what I mean?
It's criminal.
Yeah,
You have your right to speech up until a point. Malicious with the intent to do harm. Oh, it could be spun so many different ways, and I can't get into it because I will get emotional.
Well, the key is that if this were happening to one of them, it would definitely be a problem. They would definitely see it as one, but it is not a problem for them because it's happening to somebody that they enjoyed having targeted. So they themselves, are they putting their hands on it? No, but your number didn't just quite work its way out there on its own,
Yeah, and I'm not, I think what they thought after they called me out, after I went to Florida, and going to Florida, Jeremy, Lisa, you got it all wrong. I never spoke with Jeremy or George up until I gave them my flight information, which was December the 15th, I believe, was the very first time I ever spoke to either one of them. So there's that truth. I don't know them. I spent one day with them, ate a meal with them. They're lovely people. They're the kind of people I like to be around. I'm not going to, and I think here's just my profile of who the Lisa was like in the 80s in school. She is a self-proclaimed rocker chick, right? So she was probably the hardcore leather jacket, long hair, I'll beat your ass in the hallway woman that I would never hang out with. And she probably did a lot of picking, a lot of bullying, and she just never grew up. Part of her is still that 16-year-old that just can't get what she wants. And as long as I'm alive and breathing, you will never take my power. I will never be intimidated by you. I will never be afraid of you. And I told you from the get-go, if you want to dance, I will dance, but you're not going to like the outcome.
Right. Oh,
she may be smart. She may know how to work that Google lawyer, that AI. But I'm actually smart.
Well, that's the thing. AI is not, they did not do anything with a case. A judge said that it doesn't have any merit for Fed 2. They got very lucky that, again, a lot of cases end like that, but them thinking that they're somehow lawyers is so funny. Because one day, God, if they run up on a real lawyer, God, it'll be a mess. It will be a mess. I'm
not a lawyer. Megan's not a lawyer. You're not a lawyer, but we know how to read a court document. And just because you decide to leave one sentence out that is actually the most important sentence in the paragraph does not change the ruling. Just like she was going around saying how, Michelle, how did Michelle put it? That the probation that her husband is on, yeah, it's a felony probation, but it's just a temporary conviction. There is no such a thing.
Oh, you mean you said Michelle
with Lisa. Michelle was telling me Lisa told her it was temporary.
Yeah. See, that's all crazy too, to hear this stuff. So behind the scenes, it was a notation of it's no big deal. Hey, I got to hit super chats before we'll see if there's 45 minutes. All right. You out of here?
All right.
That's it.
No, I'll go ahead and go and listen.
Okay. All right. You can hang.
Unless does somebody have a question?
Yeah, somebody has questions. Well, we'll see.
I'll hang out. I'll hang out.
All right. Max Lab starts it off. Thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it, Max Lab. Actually, you know what? I saw. And thank you, Max Lab. Again, keep fighting your fight with the YouTube thing. All of you folks that have been fighting, keep making noise. I'll note, let's see. I'll just note first name, Sarah, because it doesn't have another name attached to it. Sent $50. There's nothing else that's stated here. That is huge. And thank you. That's quite awesome, because I think I'll buy me a new. I bought a tumbler yesterday. I was telling this earlier.
Why? I could have made you one.
Well, I picked up a Dungeon Crawler Carl one. They just started merchandising him, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. Because I read the books, the early ones a long time ago, but I never tried the audiobooks. And my God, the audiobooks are so good. But they've started merchandising it recently. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's never had merch before. I picked up one. I hate tumblers and stuff. Like I say, buying them. I don't hate tumblers, but I hate buying anything. I don't want like a million tumblers. But I wanted that one. And when I got home, the little one was running with a balloon. And wouldn't you know it, the balloon caught it and smashed it. I was like, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was like, I only had it for like 12 hours.
Oh, God.
Yeah. She was so sad. She was like, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean. I was like, oh. So,
maybe you call the store and tell them you accidentally dropped it, tripping on their sidewalk, and see if they'll replace it.
Well, they won't have another one. I'm sure they're sorry.
Oh.
That's going to be the problem. So it sucks. But I will end up taking it back. But it's going to, they won't have any replacements because they've been selling all that stuff out so quickly, But anyway, but it wasn't. I mean, it's an accident. It happens. Simply. What's up, Simply Me, Connie? Thanks for the 2. Over the roof, anxiety, mad fun. Well, thank you. Yes, you need that sometimes, right? Hazel. What's up, Hazel Montango? Thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to my. Look at this. This made me laugh. I was like, welcome to, and then I noticed this. Hazel was like, Hazel Montango said, hey, Tuck, just because you like Hazel Montague, also thank you for the tender 2. Reading my name, here's another one. That made me laugh, and it messed up my welcome to Tug's Thugs because he got me laughing. So that was actually very good. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the laughter. That was really funny. Let's see. What's up, Uncle Frederick? Thank you for the super chat there. I missed Megan's pre-birthday and her actual birthday. So here's something for her post birthday. Well, thank you. Yes, I am going to probably about the 7th to the 8th, I will start hardcore mentioning my birthday's coming up too. I haven't started it within the 30 days heavily, but I will definitely start it up. Mine's on the 15th of this month, so feeling it.
Oh, I'll be on that stream.
Andre, thank you for the 2 there. Only me is an ass, but he still got robbed. Exactly, brother. Exactly. Only me. I don't like him, but I
don't either.
Yeah, he's just the best.
He would think if he was any kind of a man, Tug, with everything that has happened this past month, you would think he would reach out to somebody and say, let's get this bitch.
Dude, they were talking shit about him again because of the stuff that came up with another donor. They brought his name up again. Like, if it were me again, you know, if I gave some people money and they brigaded to ruin me, I would be pissed off. Like, this is monster money. But no, instead he pops up and he has to pretend he's the smartest dude in the fucking room. You know, he popped over in Mr. Coop's chat, like acting like he fucking knows something. But
what an idiot! Oh, did you let her know that this dumbass that she likes to call me found her businesses that she said I was too dumb to find?
I did. Yeah. She said you were a dumbass and couldn't find any of them. I was like, oh, you found multiple. Don't say how many yet.
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
let's
not.
make her guess.
You'd
So
be
it is
surprised at
funny.
what I found.
Oh, well, you know, these folks, they're just stupid. She thinks, though, because you talk about their Smuttmobile, where I've talked about the Loofamobile and it being a fucking eyesore that it, you know, drives down properties. They're like, that's damaging my reputation. No, your business. It damages it, you know.
She's damaging her own reputation with that repulsive sign they have hanging on the back of it.
He talks about like all this weird sexual bullshit and stuff. So
it's disgusting.
Like, you're supposed to look. She's like, you're supposed to look at that and think parody. No, I don't.
That's not parody. That's swinging.
Yeah, that's straight up talking about, hey, hit me up about our loofah parties. By the way, here's a list of what all these loofahs mean. It's like,
You know what would happen if somebody were to approach me with a flyer like that? They'd probably eat that flyer. They really probably would.
Well, you know, people can do, like, as adults, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But that's
gross.
You know what? You know, adults can do whatever the fuck they want. And, you know, doing that stuff, you know what else adults can do? They can criticize whatever the fuck they want. So...
Yeah, isn't that a protected? Isn't that something us Americans have?
It absolutely is. I can criticize businesses. I can say that something is nasty and disgusting. You know.
Oh no, you can't. Only she can do that. That's not your right. She only has the rights under the Constitution. I'm one of them people. I've actually got a town in one of the states up here that is named after my family. So. What you got, Lisa?
I got a town named after me too. It's called no, I'm just kidding. I don't.
Well, you could. Okay, go ahead. Read your super chat. I'll shut.
I'm gonna buy a town, and no, I don't have that much. That'd be funny. Actually, you know what? I could probably talk to my neighbors. We're unincorporated. Maybe we could become a town.
There you go.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
What's up, SAJ in the UK? I like how that flows, by the way. That's beautiful. Thank you for those 5 giftos. And also thank you for having I love, like, so many of you have awesome names, dude, that flow and they're fun to, I am easily amused. So I love names that flow. I say, Annie, thank you for the 5 months. Love being able to catch you live on Sundays. Late night lurking the rest of the week. Shout out to my fellow lurkers and the replay crew. Indeed, you know, for myself, the Sundays are Fridays and Sundays are the lowest live stream days that you can have. So I used to not ever, if you'll go back, I used to like not try to, you know, to skip out on those days. But I found that it's one day that I can communicate with all these wonderful people that are abroad. So I appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Sandy, what's up, Sandy Nichols? Thank you for the 2 there. Hey there. Hey there indeed. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Coop.
Hey,
Mr. Coop just entered.
Hey. Good to see you, Mr. Coop. Yeah. Mr. Coop hit me up and was like, oh, your mic sounds okay. You know, when somebody was noting it before. And again, if you think something's off, there's nothing negative in you noting it. You know, if people say, hey, it doesn't sound off, they're just giving feedback too. You know, and actually it is appreciated. So thank you. But Dark Elf, thank you for the 5 there. Never take the goat off your intro. I love that goat. I love the
feigning goat. Too. Feigning goats are awesome.
They're funny. Hey, Sassy J in the UK, thanks for 25 months. The most messed up soap opera ever. Indeed. And you know, this thing, even in its slow times, like when you're not talking about what's going on in the court case, it pulls close to 2,000 people no matter what. Like today got up to 1,800 and something, and that's with like I said, I forgot all the tagging. I didn't realize that when everything reset, that all my tagging reset too. So
Really?
I had to manually put in everything. It's a pain.
Oh my.
Buttocks, yes. It's a pain, but even with that, you know, not getting any and being on our weird times, still managed it. So it's great. I love it. That's you guys, by the way. Thank you. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you, Fallen Hero. And I appreciate you, man. Like I said, every day you're here. I try to be here every day in some respect. If I'm not on my own channel, I'm on Megan's channel. So I try to be here every day. And I appreciate you folks that are around all the time too.
Did you see that one from Finland? My goodness, Lee Telia, 53 months. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, there's some of you folks. Again, you make the channel regardless. You know, if you're here, you are the channel. Like the channel isn't the person that picks up the microphone. The channel is the person that are the people that come together and make these topics work, you know. And gosh,
this community rocks.
Well, you know,
sorry,
they do. There are really good people that they try to help out. They try to help out everybody. They're awesome. Fallen Hero, though, loved you, brother. Christine, thanks for the 2 there. Clean Supplies, thank you again for that. I'll mention these if we hit them all. Rick, thank you for the 2 for Bug, thank you. Andre, thanks for the 2 for the Made Fund or the Candy Fund, thank you. Dwayne, thanks for the 2 there for the Bug Made Fund too. Also, thank you. Here and After, thanks for the 5 for Bug. Wherever you want, hon, thank you. You guys are awesome. She thought that was fun too, and she loves it too. You know, she's like, I made money. Like, yes, you did, baby. 2012, thanks for the 2. Cleaners get candy, indeed. Dark Industries, thanks for the 5. Just for sounding cute, thank you, appreciate that. Oh yes, oh wait, that was for her. My bad. Sean, thanks for the 5. Got a cleaned in candy time, indeed, and thank you for that. Green Veg, thanks for the 2. Get to cleaning. That's right. Thank you. Crafting with Kimmy, noted. Thanks for the 2. Tug, you sound cute, but Bug is cuter. LOL. Indeed. Indeed. I very much agree. She, she's adorable to watch. Like, she is just so funny to watch. She does the funniest stuff. She as a parent, you know, she cracks me up. I like goofing off with the kids just to see what the heck they get into for the day, you know?
Oh yeah.
Taking them places is hilarious too. Big Mama, thanks for the 2. Your mic going in and out. So that was the no. And thank you, Big Mama. Well, again, if that were a problem, like I said, you folks, what you're doing is watching out for the channel with that. So thank you. And if you're having a problem, I'd like to be able to, you know, note that too. So again, that was much appreciated, Big Mama. Thank you. Something to bark about. What's up? Something to bark about. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the 5 giftos. Again, I say this a lot, but something to bark about is a good channel to turn to. Just enjoy yourself. You know, a lot of people, they talk about wanting alternatives to craziness. Well, they're out there. Just make sure that you support them when they're there.
Her videos got me through some rough times this week. Just saying. I appreciate it a lot.
I sent you an interesting email. Now I'm curious. Now I'm very curious. An not just an email, but an interesting email. You know? Let's see. I'm reading over something. Oh yeah, this is actually, it will be a good point. I'll bring that up another thing. But yeah, I've been thinking about that too. It's actually what it's a discussion of is the the creditor statements for for her, talking about how 2L is a creditor and she added value to the property, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, how that actually can, that can turn into a real problem for.
It's going to.
Yep. Well, it was a very stupid move, you know, for people that are, they're trying to play a game, but there are a lot of problems in that. It's not just what they think that they're going to head off. It's more problems than they're foreseeing, you know.
Who waits till the day documents are due to file a request for an extension? This is federal court. That doesn't fly in federal court.
Yeah, well, it has so far, unfortunately, you know, but you know, because belief they'll let them get away with anything.
Well, yeah, him.
And that's been a problem. You know, he has given them the opinion that they can do anything that they want. So,
well, you know, I was talking to my lawyer up here this week when we were going through what I had to go through, and he told me I should send old Miss Lisa Lee an invoice because she's monetizing off of my name.
Well, her problem, you can monetize people, but the problem that she's having is what she's doing it with the types of anyway, that's a conversation that will become more interesting later, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with that, then we'll talk about that conversation. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Hey, Grant, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership and welcome to Tugs Thugs. That's awesome and much appreciated. Thank you for that. Hey, what's up, Paula Mop? Paula Mopicus. I always love your name. It makes me laugh. It does. Every time I see it, I start to laugh about it. Thank you for that too there. So the Berkey 3.25 gallon filter is $458 from Amazon. Yeah.
You didn't like me calling it a burpee?
Yeah, the burpee. Well, you know, I could see that, you know, when you noted that, I'm sure you thought she said burpee because I
did.
The way she speaks.
Because I was drawing bees on my paper.
Yeah. Well, you put in, you said burpee, and then you noted to burpee. And it's funny because where you wrote it out, she didn't correct the word. I wonder if she actually was saying burpee, you know, like if she thinks that's the name, a burpee.
Because I was like, what is a burpee?
Right. Well, that's when I first saw that written on there. That's what I thought too. I was like, what the hell is a burpee? That you have to worry. I thought it was some kind of kids thing, you know, like some little bitty kids thing. And I was like, why did they have a burp? I thought it was like some burping thing for like a baby.
Yeah, I was thinking a swaddling blanket.
Yeah, I was thinking like just something bizarre for a little kid, you know, one of those odds and ends that you get for little ones. The Bohemian Booksmith, thanks for the 5. Life would be a whole lot easier for LP if HG went to school. Well, I wonder, they would have time filled in for sure, but where they live, like, would they have to take them to school? Because I don't know how. Like
now up here we have vans. Like I live in an area like Otter Creek. The closest school from my house is like a half an hour away. They don't have school buses. Yeah, it's vans.
Man, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure how that worked. That's kind of cool.
Yep, they get vans. We don't have school buses.
It would definitely fill some time. I am fortunate. I like I like teaching the kids. So, you know, I work with them on stuff. We've gotten out the microscope. One of the products I got as a sample way back when was a microscope, and I was like, man, the kids, you know, one day when I was getting them, it was before the kids were born, you know.
Yeah.
When I knew that the oldest was due, I started picking up things like that. But the microscope was awesome. I got offered it by Amazon, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I kept mine in school up until the high school years when all the, when they were very impressionable.
Yeah.
And then I pulled them.
Well, I get it. I worry a lot with the kids, and I know all parents go through that. I get it, but
if you can keep them out of the public schools, like with mine, I lived in Jacksonville. Okay, so there was like 3,000 kids in the school.
Yeah. Well, look how many predators there are, these teacher predators, It's just really disturbing.
Nope, they're better off with you.
Yeah, I think they have more fun, like, chilling with dad too. And like I said, they learn more. They definitely read more. That's for sure. I make them read and, do all those things that school doesn't really. I read a lot as a kid, but they didn't encourage me. I did it in spite of them. They would get mad. I'd be reading a book or something. I'd bring my own book. I only had one teacher that was ever really good at that. All these other teachers would get mad because you weren't reading the assigned book. And I'm like, what do you care? I've already read your assigned book. I read it 2 days I read the whole damn book. So,
they wouldn't let us read either in high school. We were sitting in English class. Instead of reading Macbeth, we had to listen to it on an LP. I'm like, really?
Oh, man. They set it on an LP and you had to listen to it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I fell asleep.
You said, I was saying you had to set it on Michelle Preston LP?
Oh, ew.
Like, wait a minute.
How did I miss that one?
Nope.
Ew.
What the what now?
Yeah. That's a ew, yuck, no, gross.
It's funny. Stacy, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Stacy. That is awesome and much appreciated too. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. I could take Sundays. I used to, like I said, but I noticed because like I said, the numbers are always lower on Sunday. But at the same time, I get to see a lot of you that I do not get to see. So I think that's a reward, to be honest. It's kind of cool to get to hang out with folks that in different time zones. And we finally, I like that. I don't get to do a lot of day streaming. So this is 4 hours earlier is a big difference. Thank you, Stacy.
Fun.
Yeah, thank you for the 53 months. That is awesome, by the
That
way.
is awesome.
Yeah, seriously, that is amazing there. That is quite a bit of time. And again, you are the channel. Like, this is exactly what I mean. Folks that have been here and have encouraged, when I think 53 months, some of the craziest stuff I have ever experienced in my entire life has happened in the last, couple of years. And people were there. I didn't talk about it when it was happening, but some of those days were very rough times. And the channel was one of those constants that I always had. I could always turn to. I could say, hey, I've got this, and I've got the people that are here that I can always turn to. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you. And look at there, Lily, also 32 months, man. That's awesome.
Wow.
Thank you there. Great to watch you, Tug. Well, I'm glad, again, I'm glad we got to do something within a time zone that's a little more friendly for some people out there.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Mr. Coop, hashtag save baby chicken coop. I know. Poor little baby chicken coop. Did you ever hear the story? Did you hear the story of baby chicken coop?
Yeah, the chicken nuggets.
Oh, it's such a sad tale. So imagine this. Look, there's a tiny baby chicken coop that's wandering around. I mean, you can see him. He looks so adorable with his little hat on. Yeah. And all of a sudden, 2 big vicious dogs pop out of nowhere and they try to eat. Yeah. It's sad. They try to eat our baby chicken coop. Now, if you'd like to adopt a baby chicken coop, there are many ways that you can do it. There are PayPal links out there, but Yeah, you got to make sure our baby coop is kept from those mean, horrible, vicious dogs. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad what happens to a baby chicken coop.
Poor Coop.
I
You're
know, look
so
at him.
cute.
I know it, man. I never thought you could be cute.
And what's Elmo doing hanging out in the background?
That's what I asked him too. I was like, how did he get in there?
I'm jealous. I want an Elmo.
Look at Venomus, by the way. I got Smartt. I got Keto Brains and Mug 15. See, that's awesome.
Ooh, girl, you too.
Heck yeah. See, and that's something I appreciate you folks like checking out. Again, it is a big deal. I have never picked up a sponsor in my life, but everything that I went through, I thought, all these issues I've been going through with memory and more, I want to see like if there's something that can help. And this stuff, again, I've not had any negatives, and you could hear me drinking it earlier. I drink it twice a day. Check it out. I feel like my mind's a little bit, it's better. I feel like I'm with it more. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to give it to Kevin. I really am. I can't wait.
I'm excited for it myself. The stuff that's in it too, if you look up everything in it, these are things that a lot of folks, they utilize for memory and more. Megan had on a doctor the other day when she was talking about the sponsorship stuff. She had them on and they were like, oh yeah, the stuff with active ingredients in there. That stuff.
Well, my doctor, he's actually going to try it. And he said, and I'll just tell you on stream, if it works for Kevin and me, he will buy a bunch of it and put in his office. And he's one of those he's a what do they call it? A preferred doctor where he does house calls and stuff. He doesn't take insurance. He's an old fashioned doctor, but he's been looking for something. And I was telling him about this because I wanted to clear it with him before I ordered it with Kevin.
Yeah.
And he said, if it works for Kevin, then he will definitely invest in it. So
good deal. That would be, like I said, I would not talk about something if I didn't feel 100% like it was worth doing that. Because there's a million, it's like this, folks, too. There's a million things that will sponsor. And my channel size, I've been offered sponsorships for a long time, and I just, the YouTube thing did motivate me to say, hey, I need to pick up a couple of things. That way, no matter what happens while I'm sorting it out, my base bills are intact. But I could do that with anything, they're not, in that it's not unique. But there was somebody that Megan knows, and we know, that had talked about having the sponsor, and they've done that. It's first of all done well for them, and again, size of the company. I like helping out a smaller company too. I like that idea. We're not talking about some monster corporation out there that's that doesn't appreciate it. And these people, the antis, they went after them too. Oh yeah, they were talking about it. Now they're denying that, but when Megan's back Monday, we are damn well going to discuss that. And
I hope so.
Oh yeah, because they, it's the same thing they did with like a Jeremy Hales. They went after.
It's ridiculous. Why can't they go get their own stuff and just leave everybody alone?
Because they're absolute trash fire pieces of garbage. But it doesn't matter. See, when we're picking up sponsorships and that's a thing that they are going to understand from go. They're going to understand that these terrible fucking people are definitely going to try to do stuff like that. They're going to try to intimidate them. And of course, well, they've tried to deny, it's funny because they like to pretend with the deniability. We're not doing anything. No. Our hands are clean. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So these people that you just motivate to attack everything from other folks, they totally, they're the greatest.
Let her announce one. I have a file folder that will prove she's garbage.
Well, I feel really good because They can whine all they want. It will not do anything. You know, they are not going to. They're not going to impact anything with them. Ultimately, I mean, what can they do? They're just such horrible people, though.
They are.
That's the only thing.
You know, I don't like talking about people, and I generally, I don't like them. I will forgive them because I'm a forgiving person. But if they were to call me and say, we need help, no. That's the way I am, though. I'll forgive you, but
oh no, not me.
Look the other way.
Not me. Not me. I remember. I never forget.
Oh, I won't forget.
I don't forget. I don't forgive either. I just, and some people are, well, that's not Christ-like. And I'm like, well, we are all flawed. So I am a flawed sinner. Exactly. I don't have to. I don't have to not remember that people are monsters.
That's right. You don't have to believe what I believe. It's your faith. That's between you and God. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
But I mean, there are some people that are much better as probably human beings. They're nicer, more forgiving. Hey, whatever floats their boat. But not me, baby. Not me.
No, I like my redneck. I like my redneck pug.
I left up Hazel, by the way, Hazel Monte Ingle. I left that up for a while and just talked because I thought it was awesome. Not just
love her avatar.
I just love that. The name flows so well. Like there are some names out there that, they flow okay. That name though, it does. It just flows right off the tongue. So I like it. I love names that flow well. And she gave us a breakdown and made it even better. So thank you. Caroline, thank you for the 5. Catch your squirrels. They're running loose. Still love random stories. Indeed. I actually love telling random stories.
I tend to squirrel him, and I'm sorry. I'm a squirrely person.
Shoot. It's like I just talked about that name I've been on almost 4 hours. So, there's some squirreling in there for sure. But I did cover what I can cover. Again, there's a Paint Chips doc, but the doc is moot. Okay. It's new in the fact that we didn't read it, but it became moot. So we don't actually have to cover it. I think it would be interesting to cover simply because Paint Chips, it gives you an idea of where he's going to go with his stuff. But I mean, it's not like you don't know where that's going to go anyway. I just, his stuff sometimes. It depends on his filing, how crazy. I like his crazy filings. I like to read.
Yeah, those are the fun ones.
But his newest, it'll be interesting to see where he goes with everything. I am curious, but anyway, thank you for the encouragement to squirrel out too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that squirrel.
Sammy, thank you for the 7 months. Sammy batshit crazy. I do like that name too. Hey, that's funny. Does that say Sesame's Lot? I know what Salem's Lot is, but
it is Sesame. That's funny. With Count Dracula. I like that.
Funny. I like that. At first I saw it and I thought, that's Salem's Lot. Wait, no, that's Sesame's Lot. That's funny. I really like Salem's Lot too. I hated that remake they did though. Ugh.
Yeah, the remake sucked.
Yeah, it was that HBO remake. I was just not. God, and they had such a budget behind that new one. It could have been such a good movie.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? Some people it had some good moments as far as effect wise. It's just they dumbed the story down. They made it you're talking about something that definitely it's mini series needing, and they dumbed it down into a movie. But anyway.
Yeah, but it'll never be as good as the book. Ever.
I must say that I do enjoy Tug Without Megan, mostly because I don't have to keep adjusting the volume. I love Tug and stuff. It's parenting.
You have that problem too.
That's funny. Yeah, I do like when the kids come in, they do pop in now when I'm on with other folks, but I will mute, as you'll notice with the kids. I mean, they constantly pop in, and I do not like telling them. I know some people will just lock a door and keep them out, but I don't like that. I like them to have it. It's not just a need thing. I think you send a message when you do that.
You're teaching them work ethic.
Well,
that's something school's not going to teach them.
I think it's even more than that. I think you're telling them that their needs are valid too. So if you come to
absolutely.
me, I want them to always come to me with problems, because that's being a parent is it's such a strange ride. I had no idea how that would be when I first started. You can prepare for anything, but man, I mean, that's such a weird ride, but I love it. I love that they get to come on and do stuff, and they get to
enjoy every second, because I have emptiness syndrome.
Oh man,
and
I hear parents that talk about like, oh man, I need some time away from the kid. I don't have that problem. I don't. Maybe it's just me. I'm not sure, but I don't get tired. They make me laugh. They're crazy half the time. They're entertaining. So most of the time I'm just like, oh, I'd rather do that. But I thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Intimidator, man? Now that right there, Intimidator is old hat with the channel. Intimidator has been around since what, man? 2018?
Wow.
Cool, I think so. Yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, Tug. Hope you're doing well. By the way, do you know why artists have a hard time trying to draw dragons? Because they have to draw them to scale.
That's a good dad joke.
Yeah.
I like
love
that.
it. I love the dad jokes. This was always the pop me dad jokes and stuff. I love it. And Christine, thanks for the fun there. Sponsors only put their money on credibility, not gossip and garbage. Indeed. It was, I've seen them. I mean, unfortunately, with the Olight situation, though, they barraged and brigaded so much that it did hurt Hales. It was an awful situation. Remember how that went. And they at first denied it, only to come back later and say, oh, yeah, we did it. We did it.
I don't know how people can brag about burning somebody's life down like they did. I mean, I think it's disgusting.
All I know is they bragged about it. So if they ever get sponsors and stuff, buckle up, Buttercup, because everybody will be telling them about who you are too.
Karma. Such a big thing. They believe in karma.
They made sure. Let me see. What the hell? I'm looking for the stream.
You may hear big booms here in a minute. I think the old man just opened the garage to do some shooting.
In Florida. My life was threatened in Florida. Is that his what?
What?
That's what the new stream says. I'm making sure that's his stream for sure, but that's what the title is.
Well, I hope not.
What the hell? Like I said, I love this case. I love covering it. I love talking about it. It's crazy. I love the stupid to it. I love all the idiots in it, but I hate it for the people that are wrapped up in it.
Yeah, me too. Just gotta pray for them and protect them when you can.
Well, you know what I hate? Like Jeremy, he was naive. He was very naive in what he thought would happen, and I mean that in such a nice way, because it shows you when you're dealing with some people, like their first response. My first response, God, my first response is I've got teeth, and I will wreck you, But it was like, man, I'm going to try to protect my business. I'm going to do this. He reacted in
a professional manner.
Yeah, and also a legally naive way, because he thought that, unfortunately, I think, now again, I can't speak for him for anything, but this is the way I guess I would note it. His business now, like you've noticed his talking or lack thereof, while he's been building up his business again, he talking about these people did give them some platform. It does bring attention to them. It's unfortunately an effect that you don't want, but it did help. Now, he could have done it like if he would have known how the legal system operated, he probably could have, dropped an A-bomb on them. Essentially, he has a monster channel, but
see, he comes from an area up here where the courts actually work. So,
yeah,
I mean,
he talked about upbringing and stuff too. So, I think he's, listening to him. I think he has the expectation that there is good in everybody, and there isn't. We've
and
seen.
He spoke of that, and it's sad that they now. I mean, because they're very loving people. I mean, they're great people, and for them to rob them of something so precious, something that's bigger than all of us combined, is what really pisses me off.
The terrible thing is that, yeah, it took away from all of the people out there that enjoy it. Like they were robbed. But anyway, I'm going to end here. You got 5 minutes. Okay? So I'm going to send you all over. Wow, wait. Hey, happy 75th mom. Hey, that's awesome. I got to give a song for that.
Absolutely.
I have to. Here we go.
Happy birthday.
From all of us to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Very healthy
birthday.
Amen. I love it. All right. I'm going to end here, folks. You got to get over there. We got 5 minutes. So I'm going to send you over. You'll have time to get your popcorn on or whatever you want. Take your bathroom breaks. I'll see you tomorrow. We will be on. Appreciate you popping in, Tina. And
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Bye, guys.